$26.1 million from our general fund and revert our property tax revenue back to 2019 levels.
Carmel Mayor Sue Finkham. Governor Braun says he understands their concerns, but says property owners need a relief on their property taxes. A long night for police and a man holed up in a home on the southwest side. A standoff coming to an end after 5 hours. Police got the call at around midnight where they say they found a woman who had been stabbed. The man said to have stabbed her was barricaded inside of the house, but later surrendered to SWAT officers. A 10-year prison sentence for a man from Greenwood who committed all sorts of fraud. Harrison Silcox reports.
James Henley was accused of stealing nearly $3 million in 5 homes through all sorts of schemes that started during the COVID-19 pandemic. Henley apparently stole people's information and then used it to apply for unemployment insurance in several different states. He also submitted fake deeds, which is how he stole 5 homes in Marion County, and then also committed mortgage and auto loan fraud to top everything off. Henley pled guilty to all the charges he faced. That led to his 10-year prison sentence. Harrison Silcox, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A North Central High School employee here in Indianapolis was hurt trying to break up a fight between 2 students at the school yesterday. The school says both students involved will be facing consequences. The Indiana Pacers losing Tuesday night out in Portland in a bad way, 112-89. Head coach Rick Carlisle.
They were very physical, and you got to give them credit. I mean, they dictated the physicality in the game. They kicked us on the boards. You know, the points off turnovers was a big difference in their favor.
A goose egg scoring for Tyrese Halliburton. They head to L.A. to face the Clippers on Thursday. Traffic on the 5s, Matt Baer.
Northbound 65 slows out of the north split to Meridian Penn. And a reminder, East 75th Street closed on the northeast side from Graham to Benford Boulevard until Monday for Nickel Plate Trail construction. Traffic sponsored by The Tile Shop. Pros get more at The Tile Shop. More selection like new wood and vinyl. Flooring options for every budget. More perks and more service like free curbside pickup. Start getting more at The Tile Shop. Visit your local showroom today. I'm Matt Baer with traffic on the 5s. Follow us at WIBC Traffic.
Garage Doors of Indianapolis is everything that's right about Central Indiana. They've been locally family-owned for 50 years, helping our local economy remain strong by employing 70 families. Garage Doors of Indianapolis is proud to do business right here in the great state of Indiana. They're a conservative-minded company that shares our values and stands by their products and services. You can call Garage Doors of Indianapolis today for service today. 875-4577, 875-4577, or visit doorstoday.com.
Hey, Pat Sullivan here with an amazing offer for my friends at Hope Plumbing. For the month of February, install a tankless water heater and get $1,000 off. That's right, get $1,000 off any tankless water heater. So if taking endless hot showers, cutting down on your gas bill, and saving space in your home is on your to-do list, call my friends at Hope Plumbing and get your tankless water heater installed today. Visit them online at hopeplumbing.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's Diamond Engagement Ring Store.
The forecast from the American Standard Heating Weather Center.
Good morning. A cloudy morning expected. Some light freezing drizzle changing to rain this afternoon. A high of 35. Scattered chilly showers overnight with warming temperatures. A low of 34. I'm Wish TV Storm Track 8 meteorologist Marcus Bailey for 93 WIBC.
31 and cloudy on Monument Circle. I'm Kirk Darling on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Good morning. It is Wednesday, February 5th. It is 6 minutes after 9. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC. So President Trump at a news conference last night with Benjamin Netanyahu proposed the idea that the U.S. would take ownership of Gaza. Mara Gaza. I can hear the campaign already. We're going gaga over Gaza. Beaches, casinos, hotels.
He said it.
He did say it, didn't he?
Look, he clearly, I think we have quickly established what sort of presidency this is going to be, and it is zero you-know-whats to give, and he's just going to say whatever's on his mind, whether he can make it happen or not, and it's going to be 4 years of at the very least, it'll be wildly entertaining.
Well, here he is, Donald Trump, saying that the U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too.
The U.S. will take over the Gaza Strip, and we will do a job with it, too. We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, level the site and get rid of the destroyed buildings, level it out, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area. Do a real job, do something different. Just can't go back. If you go back, it's going to end up the same way it has for 100 years. I'm hopeful that this ceasefire could be the beginning of a larger and more enduring peace that will end the bloodshed and killing once and for all. With the same goal in mind, my administration has been moving quickly to restore trust in the alliance and rebuild American strength throughout the region. And we've really done that. We're a respected nation again. A lot's happened in the last couple of weeks. We are actually a very respected nation again.
Okay, so did you see the video of him walking through the White House to go meet Netanyahu?
Yes, I did.
It just, and I've said this sort of about Braun. I'm not saying that Braun in any way has the carries himself or the presence of Trump, but I've said this about Braun too, in the sense of you get the feeling now in this state for the first time in a long time some adult is in charge. You get the feeling in the White House now, for the first time in 4 years, anyone is in charge. A guy who looks like the president. And you think about, other than Trump, you've had 8 years of Obama, who was some beta wimp and looked like a beta wimp, and that's how the world viewed him. And then you had Biden, who was some mush-brain dementia patient.
Shuffling through the Oval Office.
And it's like, finally, somebody who carries themselves the way we envision a president looking is back in charge of this country.
Yeah, as he walked down the hallway, everybody got out of his way. And even J.D. Vance was standing there. I don't know if you noticed that, but he kind of took a step back, and everybody was giving him his space and his room to go in. And he just, the way he walked was with confidence and conviction. Purpose.
And I don't know if I've ever mentioned this before. I interviewed the president one time.
Yes, it was a great dream.
His words, not mine.
Right.
I would never say that about myself.
Yeah.
He said that.
He wished all interviews could be that way.
That's right. And I knew what was going on out there.
That's
again,
what
his
he
words,
said.
his words, not mine.
Sure.
But one of the things you realize with Trump in person is he's a huge human. Like
physically, he's big. Yes.
Like you walk up to him and it is like some Land of the Giants guy. And you know, look, obviously as he's gotten older, he's put on more weight, and that makes him his presence look even bigger. You know, you see these earlier photos of him. You know, he was a relatively skinny guy, but it's like when he walks in a room, there's just certain people that you're like, "Ooh, I wouldn't want to get on his bad side." He looks like a dude who should be in charge of things.
Well, he is in charge of things.
Right, that's my point.
And he's making a lot happen. You know, they say that it takes 17 days to make a habit become a ritual.
That's right.
Donald Trump has been in office 17 days. We're not even talking 3 weeks. And just look at all of the changes that he's made already. It's not even been a full 17 days.
Yeah, and what he's proposing, look, he's saying the thing out loud, which is the Palestinians are not our friend. The Palestinians hate us. Look at the terrorist groups. Look at the governments they elect. Then look at the terrorist groups those governments prop up and aid and abet. These people are not our friends. Why are we always trying to negotiate peace between Israel and these people? They hate us. As long as they exist, they will be a threat to Israel. As long as they're a threat to Israel, they will be a threat to us. So why do we even pretend like we want these people in their... Now, I'm not saying wipe the Palestinian people off the map, but as long as these governments exist, and as long as the people that those governments prop up exist, they are a threat to us. It's okay to say that out loud. It is now okay in this country again to say out loud that the Palestinians hate us. They would love to see us, along with the Israelis, wiped off the map. Why do we pretend like anything else is their goal?
So Trump stated that the Palestinians would be resettled in areas where they can live a beautiful life, and Netanyahu emphasized ensuring that Gaza never threatens Israel again. He expressed interest in Trump's vision for the area. But here's the thing. This actually becomes reality. Think of that. Any nation that attacks Gaza would now be essentially attacking the United States.
Yeah, and look, it's also okay to say Israel is our friend. It's also okay to say Israel, in terms of us as a nation, is better than these other nations around us, that we treat them differently. Why? Because they share our values. They promote the things that we claim to be for and about. And it is okay to say to other countries, we're cutting off aid to you, and we're continuing to aid the Israelis in their mission. Why? Because they've proven it over decades and generations of the things they believe, the things they stand for, the things they're willing to fight for. And I think it's great that Trump is basically saying the quiet part out loud, which is you're not in its current form ever going to be able to negotiate a peace agreement that's going to stick. It never does stick.
Right. He's saying, let's try something different.
Yeah.
We've been doing this for years, and it's not working.
These people, the people who run the Palestinian government, the terrorist groups they prop up, they need to go away. If you, the Palestinian people, actually want peace and a better life, we will give you a path to have that, but it ain't going to happen with the current power structure in place, and you got to wipe them out, and you got to this is a horrible phrase to use, but I mean, because things will literally be being blown up. I mean, he's talking about, think of all the landmines and the terrorist traps that exist in that area. I mean, there's going to have a lot of damage happen for that thing to be torn down and to be built back up. But that's the only way you would ever get some sort of lasting peace.
Hamas spokesperson said that this is a recipe for chaos. That's what they love, though.
That's what they are.
Yeah, exactly. So what, different chaos than what's already happening? So this was the first meeting between Trump and a foreign leader. So this should give you a clue that this is a priority for him.
Well, I mean, obviously, Trump was the most effective president since Reagan in terms of creating peace without war. And now, obviously, Reagan primarily focused on Eastern Europe and Soviet Union, but you look at the things Reagan was able to accomplish without, any sort of military. There were covert operations, et cetera, obviously, but in terms of full-scale war or anything like that, Trump in his first term was the most effective president since Reagan at doing that. Now, again, primarily focusing on the Middle East and obviously then relations with North Korea. It's a different ball game this time, and with the Ukraine and the Russia conflict, et cetera, out there. But he is digging into the Middle East. He's saying the things that need to be said. He's offering the actual solution to the problem, and where we go from there is anybody's guess.
So some people argue that he should have won a Nobel Peace Prize in his first term from the Accords. He's saying, nope, they're never going to give that to me.
What would happen if you hear from the Israelis?
They will never give me a Nobel Peace Prize.
What would happen? What would happen if the Israelis?
I deserve it, but they will never give it to me.
Globalists will never let him get it.
He'll never get the Nobel Prize. I'll never get the Sagamore. It's for the same reason, right? That doesn't mean you don't deserve it. It just means you're never going to get it. And the sooner as you, accept that, the better off your life is going to be, right?
So it does bring some concern about how Iran would react in this situation. And Trump says, you know what? He's left instructions.
It's Iran and their proxies who have threatened to retaliate against you and your team by killing you guys for taking out Soleimani.
Well, they haven't done that, and that would be a terrible thing for them to do, not because of me. If they did that, they would be obliterated. That would be the end. I've left instructions. If they do it, they get obliterated. There won't be anything left. And they shouldn't be able to do it. And Biden should have said that, but he never did. I don't know why, lack of intelligence, perhaps. But he never said it. If that happens to a leader or close to a leader, frankly, if you had other people involved also, you would call for total obliteration of a state that did it. That would include Iran.
Yeah, so this is good. I've actually done this as well. If something happens to me, my wife has a list of 20 prime suspects, and she is instructed to go on some Kill Bill type mission until my death is revenged. So, see, Trump and I just are so much alike on so many levels, Casey.
Are you comparing yourself to Donald Trump?
Well, I'm saying I have the list.
Okay.
I mean, it would just be a bad move. It's better just to let me just sit here like a cackling hen for 3 hours a day, and thus far we've been relatively successful at that.
But that's one difference between you and Donald Trump is he's not just a cackling hen. He's actually putting his words into action on many fronts.
Well, he is thus far, and it is interesting. Like we kind of compared him to Braun earlier. It is interesting. Braun is kind of doing the same thing. They are following through on promises they've made. Now, The major thing that is laying out there, and Trump's done a fine job on immigration thus far. It certainly seems like that is very successful. He's been successful on leveraging trade issues into border security. He appears to be leaning into the Middle East once again. But the major issue that's laying out there for him is how is he going to get government spending and inflation under control? We haven't seen an answer for that yet. Maybe he's checking boxes one at a time. It sounds like the reconciliation bill isn't going swimmingly thus far because the Republicans want to spend a lot of money, and there's thankfully a few patriots left over there that don't want to do that. So we'll see. But thus far, so good.
Yep, there is a lot of cutting going on, and many people want to kill the messenger, and we'll get into that later in the show. But up next, Governor Braun, he said, prove it.
Yeah, I like this guy.
What's he talking about? You know it, property taxes, and that's coming up next from 93 WIBC.
The administration is taking shape.
I, Marco Rubio. I, Marco Rubio.
Y un gran honor y le doy las gracias al presidente Trump. I just said I saved a bunch of money by switching to Geico. That's what I said. So.
Hearings and votes continue.
You're asking me, Senator, you're asking me not to sue vaccine.
Confirmations are underway.
The vice president votes in the affirmative, and the nomination is confirmed.
Follow the first 100 days on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
Hi, this is Denny Smith, and I'm betting that you already know that your carpets could use a good cleaning. There's no telling what's in those carpets at this point, and here's some great news. Zero Res has a February special of 3 rooms of carpet cleaning starting at $119, plus a 4th room clean free and $75 off air duct cleaning too. The Zero Res pros know how to get your carpets and floors and rugs and upholstery and even your ductwork really clean. And they can help you deal with the deeply embedded dirt, dander, and allergens, not to mention those pet stains and some of your stains. The game changer is the patented ZR water that uses no soap, leaves no residue, and there are no harsh chemicals because they just aren't needed to get things really clean. It's time to get it all Zero Resified. Give them a call, mention WIBC, get 3 rooms cleaned starting at $119, plus a 4th room clean free and $75 off air duct cleaning. 317-388-5141 or book things online at ZeroResIndy.com.
Attention taxpayers. If you or your business owe the IRS back taxes or have years of unfiled tax returns, the IRS has green-lighted billions of dollars in tax relief to those facing financial hardship through its tax relief initiatives. If you have a delinquent tax problem and possibly facing wage garnishment, liens, levies, audits, or already in a payment plan, you may now qualify for significant relief. Qualifying and enrolling in this program could stop all collections, settle your tax problem, and may even reduce what you owe by up to 99%. Call the hotline at Tax Help USA to see if you qualify by dialing 800-210-8808. If you or your business owe at least $10,000 in back taxes to the IRS or state, you can now get the help that you need during these hard economic times. Call Tax Help USA to get your free tax assessment to see what you qualify for by dialing 800-210-8808. 800-210-8808. 800-210-8808.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Why not start 2025 with a great new deal from Tom Roush Lincoln? Select 2024 Lincoln Navigators, now $12,000 off, and get 0% for 72 months. How about an all-new 2024 Lincoln Nautilus, now $6,000 off with rates starting at 4.9% for 60 months. So start the new year with a new car from Tom Roush Lincoln in Fishers.
Lincoln Navigator MSRP $104,825. Lincoln Nautilus MSRP $61,695. Offers good through February 28, 2025. Subject to credit approval. See dealer for complete offer details.
If this is the year to build your custom dream home, Joyner Homes is ready to help make your dream come true. They offer the flexibility to build on your own lot, allowing you to build a home in the place you've always envisioned. A dedicated in-house team of experts will guide you through every step, offering unmatched personalization and flexibility. Joyner Homes provides clear and upfront pricing and floor plans to inspire you. There's no time like the present to get in touch with Joyner Homes to talk about your vision and learn more about their building process. Visit JoynerHomes.com.
Want to find out what real retirement planning is all about? Tune in to Expedition Retirement with Greg Ayler, Sunday mornings at 7 on WIBC.
Are you still thinking about what to get her this Valentine's Day? Make that special gift last forever and surprise her with a gift from Pierce Jewelers. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
Governor Mike Braun challenged local leaders who oppose his property tax proposal. He urged them to prove it, that it would harm their budgets.
Good for him.
Yeah. He hosted a fireside chat yesterday, and he asked people to discuss the need for property tax relief.
Yeah, I felt bad we couldn't promote it because he did it during our show, and it's like we like Braun, and he's been a very good governor so far, but we're not going to tell people not to listen to our program. This is how we pay our bills, and I don't see Braun with his big wallet swooping in here and covering any monies that I might be in the negative on if our ratings go down. So sorry about that, but he did do that yesterday. A lot of people were part of that, and he got some great publicity. And one of the things he's basically said, and he's right, he's absolutely right. These local government, these blood-sucking parasites are full of crap. And you talk about yesterday, you had the poster child for government abuse of money, Carmel, the mayor of Carmel, up there with the taxpayer-funded hotel, the taxpayer-funded Palladium, the taxpayer-funded reflexive pool, the fake people on the street. You had her up there, trying to make it seem like there's going to be some potential cut to vital services if Braun's property tax. I mean, it was a really weak opposition yesterday. I was really pleasantly surprised, happy that they were so kind of, like I said, weak in their response. And there was no smoking gun. There was no proof that anybody's actually going to be harmed. The one, and we'll get into this with Merritt coming up next segment, but the one, by the way, would you like to hear we have actual audio of Sue Fingham when she was asked what cuts she's made, Casey. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Right? Yeah,
That's
nothing.
the actual
Right.
audio.
And then you had that Huntington commissioner, councilman, whatever he was, when he gets asked directly, he said, "Wait a second. We've given you, the locals, the tools. If there's some you need more revenue to raise the taxes, right? These Lowitts, these other taxes. You don't want to do it because you want to continue to say, the state, you want to get all this money to come in." And then you can look at your constituents and go, yeah, we'd love to help you, but the state is just really screwed up with this property tax system. And I think it was Garden kind of said, hey, some of us don't want to do that anymore. You want the extra money, you raise the taxes, you take the hit, let's fix the system.
Yeah, the mayor of Carmel, Sue Fingham, she said that the revenue has been used to address their rising costs, like 43% increase in road repaving costs.
What about a hotel?
Or 33% rise in emergency medical response
How much
costs.
did they spend on that taxpayer-funded hotel?
What about the artwork in the middle of the roundabouts?
Right. I mean, this is like it's an endless... I mean, with Carmel alone, you could, and then her tag team partner there was the mayor of Terre Haute. So, like, if you were to pick a two worst people we could run up there to plead poverty or doomsday scenarios, the mayor of Carmel, which the city of Carmel is some of the biggest abusers of taking and spending money on taxpayer money on things that have nothing to do with vital services, and then Terre Haute. If you look up cesspool of decades, generations of being a cesspool of awful and corrupt, it's Terre Haute. Like, really? This is the best you guys could do?
So here's Mike Braun. He's saying to these local leaders who say that his property tax proposal would decimate their budgets, prove it.
Prove it that you didn't salt away a lot, that you didn't overburden the taxpayer.
There you go.
He's right, and they're not going to be able to do that.
Him out.
They have no... Yesterday was their chance to put their cards on the table, and they had nothing other than not properly managing and saving money. What's when you're a kid, the story about the squirreling away the nuts, right? There's the two squirrels, and the one squirrels away all the nuts and is happy and healthy all winter. And then there's the one that didn't do anything and has to come, I'm trying to remember the story.
On his door.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Help me. That's who these local government people are. They got all this money coming in during COVID. They knew inflation was a thing. They knew that prices were going to rise. And instead of properly managing their money, They just spend it on stuff, and now they're here crying about the idea that you might be able to be put first for once.
So the first committee vote on this is expected next week. Now, Fox 59 reported that Travis Holdman said the bill is going to be brought back for another hearing sometime next week.
Well, there'll be an amendment process. I would be relatively surprised, given it's the governor's signature agenda item, if out of that committee any substantial, there may be some language, some wording, some whatever. But for the most part, I think they're going to let this get to the Senate to have a full, robust debate on before they make any changes, if they do. But here's the thing, and we got to get to a break, and then we'll get in more in depth with this hearing yesterday with Merritt. Braun has done everything he's promised he was going to do. You can say whatever you want about Mike Braun, but you cannot say he's not a man of his word. I talked to a state rep yesterday who said behind the scenes he and his people are working very, very hard to try to get people to yes on this bill. They are doing everything they promised they would do, and it's very rare that a politician actually does that.
Yeah. Okay, Jim Merritt is going to join us next. It is Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Hi, I'm Charlie Comer from Comer & Cross Premium Garage Floor Coatings. If your garage floor looks bad with stains, cracks, and pits, it makes your entire garage look bad. And a bad epoxy job or chipping paint makes your garage or basement look worse. With one quick call to 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, I can save you $1,000 on a new Comer & Cross garage floor or basement floor during our winter sale. A Comer & Cross concrete floor coating is the gold standard. Guaranteed. A Comer & Cross garage floor won't chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. What's the Comer & Cross difference? We make it so easy. We move your stuff out for you. We fix the cracks and pits perfectly. And one day, you will love your gleaming, new Comer & Cross garage floor or basement floor just in time for spring. Call us right now for $1,000 in savings during our winter sale. Operators are standing by now at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. Or go to COMERcross.com.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
He says they may have to leave. Radar is clear. It's cloudy and 31 downtown. I'm Kirk Darling. Here's what's trending at 9:30. President Trump says Palestinians have no alternative but to leave Gaza and find somewhere else to live.
Gaza is a hellhole right now. It was before the bombing started, frankly. And we're going to give people a chance to live in a beautiful community that's safe and secure.
Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu met in the Oval Office Tuesday, where Trump said the U.S. is prepared to take over the occupied territory. He did not rule out the possibility of sending U.S. troops to help accomplish this. The NFL says they're removing the end racism message at the end of the end zones for the Super Bowl coming up. This Sunday will be the first Super Bowl since 2020 without that message in one of the end zones. Instead, the NFL is replacing the message with the phrase "choose love." The NFL says they have no plans to end its DEI practices at this time. Your opening bell report on 93 WIBC, brought to you by Absolute Wealth Management, LLC. Another off-kilter day so far. The Dow is up 9 at the opening bell to 44,706. The NASDAQ is down 136 to 21,534. And the S&P 500 is off 15 to 6,048. I'm Kirk Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Okay, we are running a car drive right now to help veterans all across America. So if you have an old car, truck, or van, even a motorcycle or an RV sitting around, you can right now give it away and help the vets. They really need your help. And your car will help support the vets and their families. And guess what? You even get a tax donation. Plus, we'll even come and pick up your car for free. And all you've got to do is pick up your phone right now and make a free call. Now is the perfect time time to do something good for the vets. Give back to the vets right now for all they've done for this country. And your old car can really help them. So call the Veterans Car Donation Program right now for free pickup of your vehicle. Help the vets and help your taxes at the same time. Call right now.
800-883-3024. 800-883-3024. 800-883-3024. That's 800-883-3024.
These cold winter nights mean more than just frosty windows. They can also spell trouble for your roof. Freezing temperatures, ice, and snow can lead to leaks that cause costly water damage if left unchecked. Moss Roofing is here to help. Tony Katz here, and Moss Roofing are the only ones to trust. A family business based right here in Central Indiana. Whether it's a free inspection, patching a pesky leak, or a full roof replacement, their expert team has your winter roofing needs covered. Plus, they offer numerous financing options to make it easy on your wallet. Don't wait for that drip to turn into a disaster. Call Moss Roofing today for a roof done right every single time. Talk to Moss Roofing today. 317-747-3665. Tell them Tony Katz sent you. 317-747-3665. Moss Roofing, 747-3665, or find them online at Moss Roofing, M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com.
I'm Rob. Casey's here. Look who it is.
Robert.
How are you?
I'm well.
He's an institution here in the state of Indiana. 30 years in the Indiana Senate. Nobody knows a Senate hearing like this guy, the great Jim Merritt. All right, so I said this yesterday. I had anticipated some 6, 7, 8 hour big hayrube going on at the State House. And within 2 hours, that was it.
Boom.
There was no smoking gun from the local government people. There was no, oh, man, that's really going to disrupt society.
There were teachers en masse.
No, I was very surprised at the lack of opposition. What saith you?
Well, I think, first of all, it's a good bill, number one. Two, more importantly, the governor's behind it. And three, Travis Holdman is an outstanding committee chair. And Chris Garton is right there with him, representing Southern Indiana as a Republican state senator, and as well as the fact that it's early. As Abdul said, you look at it like a hockey game with 3 different periods, and the first period is the bill of origin, that being the Senate in this regard, and the House will get their piece of it. There's also amendments coming next week in the same committee, and so there's been a lot of preparation, and it was run by like a Senate committee in a very business professional way, and I was really surprised there wasn't more opposition though.
So 2 things that stood out. I didn't get to watch the whole thing because we were on the air, but from what I got to hear, so there was a county commissioner, I can't remember what it was, from Huntington County, and Garton, who's your buddy, basically looked at him and said, okay, we've given you, we being the state, has given you a local guy, all of these tools if there's some revenue shortage that you have to fill to pave a road or hire a deputy sheriff. We've given you all these extra tools over the years. If you haven't enacted them, it seems like you're using this current crummy system. By the way, I'm not quoting him verbatim. I'm doing a Rob Kendall interpretation of a much nicer way that he said this. You have this crummy system that people are angry about, but you like it because your revenue goes up every year. People are mad, and then when they come to you, you go, well, those guys at the state created this system. We're just victims of a bad system. What do you want us to do? And he said, we're pondering creating a system where if you want the revenue, you want the tax increase, you take the heat and vote for it. And he did not like that or want any part of answering that question.
Well, the lack of creativity in township and county government is there. And I think many people understand that government has to be measured. There has to be data that's included. But that sophistication is not, we have 92 counties. It's not in a lot of counties here. And they're just doing the system that has been not doing, but working the system, administering the service.
No, I think doing is the right word. they're puttering along.
Right, they're puttering along. They're spending the money that they get.
Right, that's correct.
And so there's a new day.
Yeah.
There's a new day where everything's measured. Everything is going to be have a focal point and a spotlight on it. And I think Senate Bill 1 may be the linchpin to that.
Okay, so the other part of this was, and look, I know you like her, but if you're going to send two people up as your A team to testify, the mayors of Carmel and Terre Haute, for different reasons, but they don't exactly seem like the poster childs of good, efficient government. I mean, when you got in Carmel a taxpayer-funded hotel, you got a taxpayer-funded Palladium, you got a reflexive pool, you got the fake people on the streets. I mean, come on. The argument falls on deaf ears when you're sitting there going, well, I'm very concerned about my firemen and the firehouses, right? And I get that Sue Fingham doesn't want this to pass because she's going to have to make some really hard choices, but that's a bad person to put up there as the poster child for, oh, poor us, the police and fire could be in danger.
Well, yes, there's a new day in Carmel, and Mayor Sue Finkham is trying to comb out the expenses that aren't necessary for Carmel to give the services. And what you talked about was really a different council, a different mayor. And so I wish I didn't see the testimony. She may have said this, but there's a new day in Carmel where they're looking at every dime and they're looking at every penny. And obviously property taxes fund these services, and that's why she was there.
Would you like me to do a dramatic rendition when she got asked about what sort of cuts they made? Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Yeah, I mean, it's like, and we were talking about this yesterday. These local government people look so bad because they come off as, we're fighting against you, the people, in a public forum. We're fighting against, this bill is very clear. It's like people are at risk of losing their homes. We're trying to ensure stability in people being able to live in their homes. And you guys are out here not literally pounding your fist, but basically like it's Custer's last stand over preventing people from being able to afford to live in their homes. You know,
I look at this and I use this a lot. It's an opportunity for service. It's an opportunity to be creative. And in this bill, Senate Bill 1 will really be it'll be a catalyst for change in local government and going back or putting in systems where you're using data to measure services of exactly what people need.
You ever watch wrestling, Merritt? Ever watch any wrestling? You seem like someone who didn't do a lot of wrestling watching.
You know, my dad went to high school with Dick the Bruiser.
Oh, no kidding.
That's about all
That's great. That's the best story we've had today. That's the thing, huh?
I just sit back and watch.
There was a team in the late 80s, Hulk Hogan and the Macho Man.
Of course.
They were called the Mega Powers. Mm-hmm. And I kind of feel like Braun and I are the Mega Powers on this, right? Like it's an arranged marriage. But when you got the power of this radio station, and they hate this, right? Because there's nothing going to do to me, right? There's nothing I want. I want this bill to pass. And you got Braun, and we got to say on behalf of Braun, or about Braun, he's exceeded all expectations in terms of leaning into this bill. State rep told me yesterday he's working very hard and efficiently behind the scenes to pass this bill. He had that big fireside chat thing yesterday. Look, there's no better team we can move forward than WIBC and the governor. And if it don't pass, I don't know what else to do for you because there ain't gonna be no better team.
Well, Robert, it is great to see that the Braun people are working with the legislature for the very best output, because I've seen in previous administrations where it comes up all the way the day that the conference committee passes.
You're talking about Holcomb.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden the bill is there, and no one knows if the governor is going to veto it or not. And we've seen this with the gun issue. We've seen this with boys playing girls sports.
Yeah.
And there's this unknown, and we're lucky that this governor has made it very clear that he has put his stamp of approval on it. And not only that, but he's going to work on it to make it passable in both houses of the General Assembly.
We talked about this in State House Happenings, and Casey and I have talked about this, that I have no idea how this is going to go, because on one hand, I know a bunch of these lawmakers don't want to vote for this. Like, they don't want to make their local trustee mad. but I can't see them, with the overwhelming public support for this bill, telling the governor on his signature agenda item, nah, we're not doing that. And yet they have to pass the bill sort of in its entirety because the three tenets, the reset, the growth cap, and the referendum stuff, it all kind of goes together.
It's weaved.
So
it's weaved together.
I mean, they're between a real rock and a hard place here.
Well, they are, and but do know,
which I love that.
Yeah, but do know that
leave them under the rock in the hard place.
When Mitch Daniels came on board, it was a new sheriff in town, and he demanded, we were in a terrible financial situation in the state of Indiana, and he threw things out there that were really not acceptable to the legislature, but everybody got in line, and everybody passed what he needed to do, and good things came from it. And so when a legislator sees a governor that is working the bill, that understands the bill, and that is actually putting a focal point with social media and media on the bill, there's a wave of feeling that I got to get on board with this.
How, real quick, about a minute left here. If you're a fence setter, whether you're a senator or a representative, how does the governor get you to yes? Like, kind of how does that conversation go? Obviously, clearly, I call the local government people a bunch of blood-sucking parasites. Braun ain't sitting down with some state rep from, Huntington going, hey, we got to stick it to these blood-sucking parasites. Like, I assume there's a little different, Navajo code going on over there.
Robert, it's kind of interesting you say that because we don't know. This governor is unlike governors that we've seen before.
Maybe he does call them blood-sucking parasites.
Well, he's been governor for just 5 minutes, and so we don't know how that is, but he has a great start. He's working on the bill. He's talking to the legislature, and he's responding to you look at the state of the state and how he put a complete stamp on property tax reform, using examples of people that are suffering from it.
Do you ever do something because the governor said, I need you to do it?
I think there are times governors have sat down with me. I sat down with Mayor Peterson, and they've talked to me why they needed this legislation. Sometimes you do it, sometimes you don't.
I had a state rep years ago, and I know we're running along here, but a state rep years ago who told me, obviously there was he said, I voted for Lucas Oil Stadium because they came to me, the governor came to me and said, I need you to vote for this. Because I wasn't even totally on board with it. I was like, really? That's how you guys, that's a thing? Governor just comes to you and goes, hey, you better do this.
Yeah.
And they do it?
Yeah. Well, yeah, they do it. They do it all. We don't know this governor, but in past, I'm sure governors have asked. I've been sitting with governors and asked them for their support on issues that I worked on. And so it goes both ways.
All right. What are you doing now? What's going on with you?
We're going to start a road show. I'm going to...
a traveling road? Like Brother Love's Traveling Salvation Show?
I'm going to start talking. And I was doing this in 24, but I really believe in small modular reactors because of the downgrade of coal as a source of energy, as well as data centers. And so I'm going to be out around the state of Indiana talking with Rotaries and service clubs and chambers about the great things about solar,
Casey,
or nuclear power.
Yeah, Casey, there could be a career in nuclear power for us if it doesn't work out here.
Sounds good.
Sounds very safe.
Yeah.
No
Very
experience
safe.
necessary.
Reliable.
Sounds like it pays more.
Jim Merritt, thank you.
Thank you.
It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
This afternoon on the Hammer and Nigel show, Allison has promised to go home with caller number 9. Yeah! Okay, I'm being told that's not going to happen.
No.
We'll just have the biggest stories of the day and maybe Tony Kennett, 93 WIBC.
Howard Bailey Financial is now in Carmel on Rangeline Road. For over 20 years, we've helped people navigate their retirement journeys, and now we're bringing our experience closer to home. Visit retirecarmel.com to schedule your appointment or text Carmel to 888-262-1104 to download a free retirement resource. Together, let's build the retirement you deserve. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Dads happen.
There's a whole lot of stuff that can mess up the look of your vehicle. Don't paint your car. Go PDR with Kill a Dent Removal. PDR is paintless dent removal that saves your factory finish and is way less invasive than traditional body shop repairs. And it's faster too, sometimes same day. Google Kill a Dent Removal and check out the reviews and photos. Then schedule your repair. Hail baseballs, kids, fender benders, shopping carts, flying cows, angry X's, and anything else that leaves dents. Don't paint your car. Go PDR with Kill a Dent Removal.
Health gives you the ability to love more, feel more, be more. Health gives you the ability to live an extraordinary life. Because every day, no matter the challenges, is a chance to breathe, laugh until your belly aches, cry because you care so much, and experience everything that makes your life truly extraordinary. For 150 years, Franciscan Health has been there, watching extraordinary lives unfold. Love your extraordinary life.
LD Smith Plumbing.
A dirty, stinking honest.
When plumbing problems arise, you need them fixed fast and right. The LD Smith Plumbing crew knows how to put water in its place. We do it all, from the kitchen sink to delicate repairs in historic homes, and we'll always give you honest advice at a fair price. So if you're worried about the cost of plumbing repairs, call today for a free second opinion on a competitor's estimate.
LD Smith Plumbing.
A dirty, stinking honest.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust Febreze car vent clips, featuring 3 distinct intensity settings, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing. Which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up, Oscar!
Yeah, pretty much the only place my wife and I have done any furniture shopping over the past few years is Thompson Furniture and Mattress down in Columbus. And right now, they have an incredible Indiana-made Smith Brothers of Bern factory authorized sale going on. 50% off. These are the best quality sofas, sectionals, recliners in the business. Made in Bern, Indiana with a lifetime warranty. And this sale ends Monday, March 3rd. And don't forget about free delivery from Thompson Furniture and Mattress in Columbus.
Tune in to the Absolute Retirement Planning Show.
When retirement comes about, we're now relying on what we have saved to meet those needs.
Sundays at 9 a.m. right here on 93 WIBC.
Addiction. It's hard on those who struggle with it, but those who love the addict need support too. Matt Baer and Ryan Hedrick provide help and hope with Supporting Sobriety. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and on WIBC.com.
Running down the road trying to loosen my load. I got 7 women on my mind.
Yeah, it's a good version. Good for you, Kevin.
Who is this?
Yeah, Jackson Brown wrote this.
The guy who wrote the damn song. What do you mean, who is this?
Well, it's not the Eagles.
It's the better version.
Eagles.
It's the better version.
Okay.
It's the Kendall and Casey show. I'm Rob. That's Casey.
It's 93 WIBC. You want to talk about this Senate Bill
I noticed
284?
you did good. You didn't push it. That this is clearly a better version of this song, and you knew if you pushed it what it was going to do to me, and so you've adapted so well over the past couple of years.
Yeah, no, whatever. You can have your opinion on that. That's fine.
Are we talking about what's going on?
I'm good either way with that one.
Is that Prince? I don't know.
I just didn't know who that was.
That sounds like it could be Rockwell.
Yeah, Senate Bill 284. It's proposing a reduction in our early voting period from 28 days to 14 days. Originally, it was supposed to be 7 days.
Our voting is such a mess in this state. So think about this. This committee, they hear 3 bills the other day. Capitol Chronicle has the article. So on one hand, they're like, yeah, we got some problems with our elections, and we think that the voting's too long, which is fine. I don't disagree with this. So this committee votes to trim early voting from a month down to basically 2 weeks, which, again, if you can't fit it in your schedule in 2 weeks, then that's a you thing, not a voting thing. Then they vote, yeah, there's too many Democrats crossing over into Republican elections. Yeah, we saw that organized effort like to elect Brad Chambers last year. So we're going to make it harder to vote in the primary. They create this big extension by which you got to declare a party affiliation. So on one hand, there's too many shenanigans in the elections. We gotta cut down the elections. There's too many shenanigans in the elections. We got to make it harder to vote in the primary. But then the third bill they heard was the school board bill, which would say, hey, there's only one election in this state where people don't have to declare party affiliation. We all know there's a bunch of Democrats getting elected in Republican communities. What they do? We're going to have to table that till next week. We're not sure we want to vote on that one yet. I mean, it's just, these people are they're playing government. It is a clown show over there.
It's like making up the rules as we go along. Okay, so we're going to talk about Senate Bill 287, which is that school board election becoming partisan bill coming up with Carlin Yoder. He's going to join us at 10, so we'll get a little bit more in depth in that. But how about this Senate Bill 284, right? So they say that this is a staffing issue, right? If they reduce the time in which you can vote, it's going to require less people to be there, and they'll be able to manage it better. It's also aimed at cutting costs, right? We don't have to staff it, don't have to pay people.
You know, Casey, I'm told there was a time, and stick with me here on this, that there was just an election day.
A day. You got a day.
And you went and you voted. Now, look, I think there is some merit to the idea of saying, let's solve this issue. Let's make Election Day a national holiday. You get the day off work, but you got 24 hours. There's one day, 24 hours, poll is continuously open. You got 24 hours to fit it in unless you're, disabled or going to be out of the state, or you can prove that, and then you can vote at, via mail. Wouldn't that be the easiest, most logical way to vote? I mean, why do we even have early voting? It's one day, people. It's one stinking day, and if we give you the day off work, then you have nothing to do on that day other than to go vote.
So there have been some concerns that have been raised about longer lines.
Oh.
If you don't have a full month, there's going to be these long lines that people aren't going to want to wait in.
Yeah, so so like the presidential election was a zoo. But in between these presidential elections, your city elections, the local school board elections, when they coincide with the city elections, even the midterms, it's often you scroll in, especially in a primary, there's maybe one or two people in line ahead of you. This presidential election was an anomaly, which, by the way, did we ever figure out where all the Biden voters went, since there were all these people that voted? And
they just disappeared like a fart in the wind, didn't
but
they?
Yet there weren't as many people that voted. I mean, that's pretty wild, isn't it? This is fine. It's fine, but it's so hypocritical that they're like, there's so many problems with voting. We've got to limit the amount of time people can vote. Oh, we've got to make it harder to vote in the primary because of the shenanigans. Well, hey, how about the one where everybody knows they're pulling the shenanigans, which is I don't have to declare a party affiliation bill. Well, we're going to think about that one for a week. We'll get back to you.
That one, we're going to send a committee so that we can debate it. Now, I know it is February 5th, 2025, and I probably missed it. I'm sure I did. They did eventually finish counting all of the votes.
Oh, I have no idea.
Right? I mean, like they did put a bow on that, right?
I don't know. I assume it's over. Trump's president. Assume at some point, didn't they have to say, we're done here?
I figure, right?
I mean, they certified it.
Yeah.
Although most of those people are certifiable.
Yeah.
So
where's that bill?
Let's just let Kev take us to break, shall we?
Okay. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Attention. If you suffer from consistent pain in your joints caused by arthritis, overuse, or injury, you may be a candidate for a revolutionary therapy that could revitalize damaged tissue. This approach can provide long-lasting relief from pain in your knees, shoulders, hips, and other joints with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. To find out if you're a viable candidate, you may request a free consultation from QC Kinetics by calling 463-251-1912. Instead of masking the symptoms, it goes to the root of the problem to resolve it at its source. Already used by thousands of satisfied patients nationwide, this joint pain therapy is available right now to the public, but only for qualified candidates. Again, to find out if you're a viable candidate for this therapy, you may request a free consultation by calling QC Kinetics at 463-251-1912. That's 463-251-1912.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting rules for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out. Consult a doctor prior to use.
Wow, you look amazing. What have you been doing?
For New Year's, I wanted to try Ozempic, Wegovy, or other GLP-1 medications everyone's talked about. I found this great company called Zelfie. If you qualify, their providers can prescribe medications like Ozempic and Wegovy and other GLP-1 medications that are 80 to 90% less expensive, all 100% online.
I can get GLP-1 medications for 80 to 90% less and do it all online? No doctor's office or pharmacy?
Yes, Zelfie can provide semaglutide or tirzepatide, the active ingredients in Ozempic and other expensive GLP-1s, but for 80 to 90% less and shipped directly to your door.
How do I get started with Zelfie?
Just send them a text.
Text DATE to 200-300 to get started this New Year's with Zelfie. Get the same active ingredients in Wegovy or Ozempic for 80 to 90% less. 100% online. Don't wait. Text DATE to 200-300 right now for a link to your exclusive offer. Text DATE to 200-300. DATE to 200-300.
Attention Indianapolis residents in need of care at home. If you need assistance with daily activities, you can receive in-home care from a loved one that lives with you and they get paid. Through Medicaid with no cost to you, Freedom Care allows you to choose who provides your care at home in Indianapolis and they get paid instantly. This is 100% free to you. Call now to check your eligibility. It can be your daughter, son, a close relative, or trusted friend helping you with cooking, transportation, laundry, and other activities in your own home. You get the help you need and your caregiver gets paid instantly. Freedom Care has over 7,000 five-star Google reviews and is a leading choice in Indianapolis for in-home care. If you have Medicaid and want great care from a loved one that's free to you through Medicaid, go to freedomcare.com or call 463-262-0024. 463-262-0024. That's 463-262-0024.
Freedom Care, we're here for
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. And now save 50% on the new Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Plus free home delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday. Exclusively at a Sleep Number store near you. Learn more at sleepnumber.com.
Morton Building's annual Building Value Day sales event is here and now through the month of February. Morton buildings are built stronger, last longer, and look better. Whether you need a garage, farm shop, stall barn, or storage building for your RV, boat, or collectibles, now's the time to save on new buildings. Visit MortonBuildings.com to learn more and save on select new buildings that will stand the test of time. From Morton Buildings. Certain restrictions apply. See your local construction center for details.
Coming up in 2 minutes, what was said to and from your lawmakers about property taxes. Plus, a man already deported 3 times from Indy may be getting deported again. I'm Kurt Darling. That and more coming up from the Technology Recycler Studios. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 10 o'clock.
He's not getting a lot of support from other world leaders. I'm Dave Anthony. Fox News are pushing back to President Trump's plan for the U.S. to take over Gaza, perhaps with American troops helping demolish the war destruction and develop Gaza into like a area in the Middle East.
Gaza is a hellhole right now. It was before the bombing started, frankly. And we're going to give people a chance to live in a beautiful community that's safe and secure.
Fox's Trey Yingst reports from Tel Aviv, Israel.
His plan is to have all Palestinians relocated to regional countries like Egypt and Jordan. Both have rejected the idea, and overnight Saudi Arabia pushed back on the concept of forceful displacement.
Hamas calls the plan a recipe for chaos that could kill the ceasefire, as leaders of many countries keep pushing for a Palestinian state. Now, President Trump is planning to take action again that transgender rights advocates will again oppose.
President Trump is signing an executive order that aims to prevent transgender athletes assigned male at birth from playing in women's or girls' sporting events. The order would reinterpret Title IX, a federal law requiring gender equity in athletics and preventing sexual harassment. The Biden administration argued Title IX protects the rights of LGBTQ students.
That's Fox's Jared Halbert at the White House, where the president also keeps trying to shrink the federal workforce.
A White House official tells our colleagues at Fox Digital at least 20,000 government workers have taken that buyout offer, and that number is, quote, rapidly growing ahead of the deadline tomorrow. And at CIA, there also appears to be change change is headed there. The Wall Street Journal was first to report the spy agency is freezing job hiring unless the applicants have the right background for the agency's new goals.
Fox's Lucas Tomlinson. They keep trying to track down a killer near Columbus, Ohio. A man who went on a shooting spree late last night while on the job at a cosmetics plant, killing one co-worker, wounding 5 others.
Nobody here noticed any type of confrontation or anything that one might expect that triggered this.
To Albany Police Chief Greg Jones. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Talking taxes. Radar is clear. It's cloudy, 31 degrees downtown. I'm Kirk Darling for Window Nation. Here's what's trending at 10:02. Property taxes was the topic of discussion among state lawmakers in a committee hearing Tuesday at the State House. The bill proposed to give you relief is drawing some concern from local governments who fear they may have to make cuts to services because of it. Governor Braun says he understands their concern.
I'm going to always be listening to something that's reasonable because we don't want to sacrifice essential services.
But he says taxpayers need relief. A man already arrested and deported 3 times from the U.S. has been arrested again here in Indianapolis. The DEA and IMPD say they arrested Diego Escobar while he was in the middle of a meth deal last month. Escobar is from Mexico and once again is in the country illegally. He's now on an ICE detainer at the Marion County Jail. Lots of drugs, money, and guns. Jake McDaniel reports that's what was seized by the cops, leading to over 24 people being arrested.
Those people were sentenced to nearly 400 years combined because of a drug trafficking ring in southern Indiana. Those people got together to give out nearly 500 pounds of meth and over 300 kilograms of fentanyl from January of 2020 to November of 2021. Authorities say Jeremy Smith was the one who led this whole operation as he got meth from other dealers and gave them out in Indianapolis and Evansville. Jake McDaniel, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
Senator Todd Young of Indiana says he will be voting in favor of the nomination of Tulsi Gabbard for National Intelligence Director and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. to lead the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. He had been on the fence for both nominations. Number 7 Purdue overcame a slow first half to beat Iowa 90-81 in Iowa City last night. Braden Smith going unconscious, rattling off 31 points.
A couple shots fell, confidence, energy picked up, and we were able to, just keep it going. And I think we just did a better job of responding.
USC up next for them back in West Lafayette on Friday. I'm Kirk Darling on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
It's Hammer and Nigel for Window Nation. February is a short month, and if you haven't looked at your calendar yet, it ends on February 28th, which, coincidentally, is the last day that you can save 60% off all window styles from Window Nation. Plus, you can get 0 interest with no payments for 2 years. But now only through the end of February. That's less than 28 days to save big on some of the best windows you could buy. Less than 28 days to get windows that will protect your home and family for decades. Less than 28 days to get a quote on the windows that are going to stop the drafts and leaks and save you money on utility bills every month.
This February, you could miss Groundhog's Day and maybe even Valentine's Day. But do not miss your chance to save 60% off all windows and pay nothing for 2 years only from Window Nation. Schedule that free in-home consultation right now by calling 866-90-NATION or visiting windownation.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's Valentine's Gift Headquarters.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
You know, Casey, there are more things going on at the State House than just property tax reform.
You think so?
Well, not in my world, but in other people's orbit.
Right.
Yeah.
Other people have other concerns, too.
There are a lot of big bills, a lot of big testimony. And this is one of the problems, right? We talked about this. There's so many things going on. Unless you have an army of reporters, it's almost impossible to keep track of all this stuff.
It's funny you say that because it's like you can't even open X anymore without getting an update every single minute. Same thing going on at the State House right now.
Yeah, and I mean, then we get distracted by 933-year-old senators falling asleep in the meetings. They're not even hearing all this
I
stuff.
wasn't distracted by that. I was dismayed by that, but that seemed pretty typical.
So one of the big bills, and we've touched on this obviously on the House side with our friend J.D. Prescott, who's got kind of the same bill over there. The Senate heard testimony the other day on a bill that would do the right thing, which is make school board elections like every other election in the state of Indiana. And so you got to put an R or a D or an L behind your name.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the people who was there testifying in support of that bill, Carlin Yoder, he was a former state senator in the state of Indiana, now with the group called Foundation for Government Accountability. Join us now, Carlin. Hello.
Hey, it's great to be here, Rob. Thanks for having me.
So when you were, remind us when you were a state senator.
I served from 2008 through 2016 representing Northern Indiana.
So were you there when they made these school board elections nonpartisan?
Yeah, and I have never understood that. I hear constantly from school board members that these are the last nonpartisan, areas of politics that we can hold on to. And I just roll my eyes because what is more partisan and political anymore than school boards these days?
Mm-hmm.
You look in the news and they're in the news all the time.
Because Merritt says, Jim Merritt, who we had on earlier today, says all the time, he goes, I made a horrible mistake voting for these to be nonpartisan because there's no more political board or elected office in the state than these school board races.
It's ridiculous. And, my sister's actually the president of HSE school board.
Oh,
and
she lose a bet?
Well, the one thing she did when she called and asked if she should run, she asked my opinion. I said, run for anything, but don't run for school board.
Yeah.
So she ran for the school board.
So Senate bill, so clearly not listening to you at all.
Right.
Hopefully the senators do. So it's Senate Bill 287.
Yeah.
It would essentially say what? You got to say I'm an R, I'm a D, I'm a whatever.
You simply have to declare your party and run in the same process that everyone else has to run for office.
Do you think by doing that it would restore some public trust, make it absolutely clear?
Oh, absolutely. These same people that oppose this bill are the ones out there saying we've got to get more people to vote. We've got to get more people to vote. And yet what we're seeing is individuals are going in to vote at the ballot box, and they're voting for president, they're voting for governor, they're voting for whoever, and then they get down to the school board races, and they look at these names, and they have no idea what their ideology is. They have no idea who these people are, and so they leave it blank and they walk out.
Mm-hmm.
And this will empower our voters. This will empower our parents to know the ideology of the very people who they are picking to run their schools and to have influence over their children. It's a no-brainer.
But people who oppose this bill say that students don't walk into school with a D or an R or an I or an L or whatever on their forehead. So it really shouldn't matter in the way we teach our students.
Well, those students aren't the ones creating policy and deciding how these schools are run. The reality is the school board members are in charge of that. They're policy makers, just like our governor is, just like our legislature is, just like anyone else is. And regardless of what a student is or isn't ideologically, I think it's painfully obvious that we and our school boards are full of ideologues, and we should know what they believe in.
Carlin Yoder's our guest. He's a former state senator here in Indiana. He's now at the Foundation for Government Accountability. So what do those guys do? Tell us about them. What do they do?
Yeah, so this is a foundation that was established by a former state representative out of Maine who was frustrated with the lack of getting things done in government, and so he created this, and they work in states across the country to push for common sense legislation for freedom for families, parents. They're working on the Medicaid issue here in Indiana.
Why did they think this was a big bill for to be involved with? Because obviously that's who you spoke on behalf of at this hearing. Why are they interested in this bill?
They're interested in this bill because it makes sense for parents, for taxpayers to be able to decide, who's making the decisions in these schools, and anytime that you can have a knowledgeable ability to make decisions, that makes sense, and that's why they decided to weigh in on this.
So candidates can already declare their party if they choose to. Do you think by making it official, it's just going to get rid of any misinformation or hidden agendas?
Oh, I think without a doubt. The one thing that I was stunned by was a school board member the other day came up to me and she said, "You might be surprised by my political leanings." I said, surprise? Surprise? I don't want to be surprised. This isn't a game show where we, choose
behind door number 2.
Yeah, exactly. Let's find out their ideology after we elect them. So, yes, I think absolutely this is a way for us to understand who we're bringing in and reveal any hidden agendas that are out there.
All right, so this committee voted on 2 bills. One was to shorten the length of the primary or of the early voting process. The other was to basically force people into Republican or Democrat allegiance ahead of the primary. You can no longer just walk up and say I'm an RD.
Right.
So it's like they're getting more political in the votes they're casting, but then with this one, they're like, we're going to table this one and think about it for a while.
Exactly.
There's just a total lack of consistency. On one hand, we're very concerned about Democrats basically swooping in and stealing Republican elections, and then where it's happening right in front of them, they're like, we're going to think about this one for a while. Like, how did the testimony, what did they say? Are we at all optimistic these guys are going to do the right thing?
Well, I'm always optimistic. I think at the end of the day, you put enough pressure on them to do the right thing, and you get people to call them and let them know how important this is. Especially with this bill, I'm optimistic we'll get this thing passed out of committee next week. And then we'll have to do a full court press on the Senate to get it through there.
Well, we're good at pressing people. You may have heard.
Heard
now,
that.
Now, I think they need a little nicer touch. That's where you come in, right? You're a little nicer in person. We're good at storming the Bastille, but somebody needs to negotiate once we're in the Bastille. Okay, so let's simplify this for people. If people want to call someone, we found it's easier if we just say call this person, and maybe
Sure.
they can relay the information, because most people don't even know who their senator is. Who can they email? Who can they call? Who should they contact if they're interested in making sure their voice is heard right now in committee and saying, hey, we want to pass this partisan school board bill?
Yeah, just simply go to indiana.gov, go to the legislature, General Assembly, look up who the election committee is in the Senate, and those are the individuals who will be deciding next Monday on how to vote for this thing.
You were hoping for a phone number, weren't you?
Yeah, I was hoping, is there somebody, is there a senator or someone we can name?
Who's in charge?
Like, we bombarded Holdman. We ruined
want to
his day
speak to the
last
manager.
week. Yeah, we want to. All right. So you're feeling good about this?
I feel good about it. I think we have the votes to get it out of committee. It'll be a close vote, which is a little unfortunate. I don't think there should be anything close about this bill, but we do have a lot of work to do in the Senate to get it out of the full Senate.
Does it help that there's a corresponding bill on the House side that J.D. Prescott feels good about passing the House?
Yeah, that certainly would help if we could get that done, and it would certainly simplify the process down the road so that we don't have to go through this whole dog and pony show in the House side as well.
Senate Bill 287 is the number. It's the partisan school board bill, the Elections Committee.
Correct.
Boy, that sounds like a boring committee to be on.
I always tried to avoid serving on that.
Yeah, how did you get to pick where you go, or somebody just say, Yoder, you're over here? We need a fifth for the bowling league. How does that work?
Yeah, I was always told which committees I was serving on, and they didn't always listen to me.
voluntold. You were assigned.
Yeah, assigned is the right word. That's right.
Hey, real quick, I'm just going to throw this at you because it's out there, and that's what we do around here. You may have heard we're not fans of the Duke of Spendingburg, Todd Young. You may have heard this. The rumor is you might run against him. Is that something we could talk you into? I mean, here's what we need, Carlin. We need a together, decent-looking, smart person who can get whatever they're at, 9,000 signatures or whatever the number is now. We feel like thus far you've checked all the boxes. Would you be interested in helping us potentially take out the Duke of Spendingburg, Todd Young? You don't have to commit today. I'm just saying. Can we check you in a maybe box?
Sure, put me in a maybe box.
Very good.
Fantastic.
The one thing I do know that is Indiana does not need any more neocon swamp creatures representing us in D.C. So if it's me or if it's somebody else, somebody has to take him out.
Well, would you have voted to confirm Tulsi Gabbard?
Absolutely.
What about RFK Jr.?
I would have been among the first to announce that I was voting for him.
See how much easier this would have been? Elon Musk.
Elon Musk didn't even have to call him.
Think of Elon probably could have put a rocket on Mars at the time he had to make that phone call to Todd Young. We're one less rocket on Mars thanks to Todd Young. Carlin, you're the best, man. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
It is Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
No matter where you head on your commute, Matt Bear is there. Paris.
Les Champs-Élysées sont un véritable parking ce matin.
Warsaw.
W drodze do pracy, wyjdź trochę wcześniej.
Or Brazil.
Temos bisbilhotice no Rio de Janeiro. Não haja como turista.
Matt, these are all cities in Indiana.
Oh, That makes my job easier.
Making your commute easier. Matt Bear Traffic. Mornings and afternoons on 93 WIBC.
If you built a house, you'd start with a strong foundation, right? Now, if you want to build a financial game plan for retirement, you'd start with Social Security. That's the foundation, and here's why. The decision to file for Social Security could impact your taxes, IRA, and 401k withdrawals, spousal benefits, and even your Medicare premiums. Everything is impacted by Social Security. That's why it's critical you get this right.
Nobody knows Social Security like our guy, Bill Demery, your retirement guy here in Indy. Bill is going to do customized. That's important. Customized Social Security analysis just for you. Everybody's different. He'll customize yours. And it's free. Absolutely free, even if you're not a client. So if you've saved more than $200,000 and have not yet filed for Social Security, call our guy, Bill Demery, 317-648-5120. 317-648-5120. Bill Demery, your retirement guy.
Wealth-changing question. Has your advisor created a portfolio based only on your age and risk tolerance? That's simply not good enough. Your money deserves better, and so do you. At Creative Planning, our private wealth managers learn about you first, and then they create a customized plan and portfolio by partnering with our in-house money managers, accountants, and attorneys. Don't settle for a standard portfolio. Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
Morning, Paula.
Morning, Ron.
Another day in Adminville, am I right?
What are you working on? Oh!
You okay?
Your tabs. You have so many open.
Yeah, gotta order lunch for the big client meeting. With great responsibility comes tabs.
I can help. Close all those tabs and open just one, easycater.com. Online ordering from local restaurants, plus tools to save time, stay on budget, track expenses.
One tab to rule them all.
EasyCater, the smarter way to order food for work. Order now at easycater.com.
Hey, John, why so glum?
I just got let go. The company's downsizing. This is the third time in the last 2 years. I'm done with this.
Have you thought about My Computer Career? I've heard they can train you for a career in IT in just a few months, including cybersecurity and the basics of AI. And you don't need prior training or experience. Now that's a recession-resistant career.
Wow, thanks. I'll check them out.
Go to mycomputercareer.edu and take the free career evaluation. mycomputercareer.edu.
Financial aid is available for qualified students, including the GI Bill.
The Suburban Indie Home and Outdoor Living Show
returns to Grand Park February 7th through 9th.
Find inspiration from over 200 exhibitors, artisans, and crafters.
SuburbanIndieShows.com.
There she is, founder and CEO. High five. Yeah.
Dave can't stop celebrating with every business owner in town.
All right, Baker Man. High five.
He's sharing the excitement of big savings with the Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee.
Ooh, up top, bike shop.
Yeah. It's 5 years of gig speed internet.
Quick, high five.
5 years of advanced security.
5 years.
And 5 years of a great rate that won't change.
Yeah, law partners. Chamberlain, Messelthorpe, Dubois.
All from the company with 99.9% network reliability. Switch today and get the 5-year price lock guarantee.
5 years.
It's back, but only for a limited time.
Woo!
Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities. Comcast Business.
Can't forget you, voiceover guy.
Ah, thanks, Dave.
High five.
Ends 3/9/25. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge for new customers on qualifying internet bundle, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
Whoa. I know you got something else to do, but I got to read this real quick.
Yeah. What's going on?
I saw this. I think Newsweek has this article. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Pennsylvania governor, he's a Democrat, by the way. Let's remember this. Pennsylvania governor proposes historic change for homeowners. And then in the meat of this story, for the first time ever, the budget includes $1 billion in property tax relief.
Oh, look at that.
The Democrat governor of Pennsylvania is like, yeah, people deserve property tax relief.
Yeah.
Here, you got to like stab your eyes out to get a bunch of Republicans to vote for it. That's gross.
I remember one of the trips that I took to the East Coast, I stopped at, Pennsylvania, and that night, the hotel, the people gathering around the fire pit outside were talking about property taxes.
Yeah, it's
everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, $1 billion allocated for property tax relief, which aims to directly benefit homeowners through homestead and farmstead exclusion. So, I mean, I guess now even the Pennsylvania Democrats are ahead of the Indiana Republicans. All right, anyway, go ahead.
Didn't Fetterman vote to confirm Bondi as
Did he?
Attorney General?
Yeah,
he was like the one Democrat.
Yeah, she got 54 votes, so that would make...
Mm-hmm.
She's like 60-something years old.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she is.
She's an age in reverse person.
You think so?
Well, look at her. Does she look 61 to you? How old is Pam Bondi?
Isn't she 58 maybe?
No, she's going to be 59.
59.
Well, you'd have won the Price is Right game.
Yeah.
59.
Yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
What? There's no way.
By that.
That's not a thing.
Eminently qualified.
No person looks at that age. I mean, she's had to work, right?
You think so?
Well, look at her. You
She's
tell
had
me.
some fillers done.
You're a woman.
Well, you can tell around her eyes. She's got the smile lines.
I mean, Kev, you tell me how old you think this woman looks. You Google her right now, Pam Bondi.
When I saw her, I thought she was probably in her early 40s.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Right. There's something screwy going on there.
Something screwy.
She doesn't
or
really look
Botox.
Yeah, I don't know if she looks like she has the Botox, though, does she?
Well, Casey would know. I'm not saying you've had the Botox. I was just saying you're a woman. You'd be able to spot these
I've
things.
had Botox. I've told you that before.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
And how was it?
It's fine.
What do? They just take a needle and jam it in your cheek?
No, in my forehead. To get rid of the angry 11 between my eyes.
Did you do that before you started working with me?
Well, yeah, it was when I was working at the TV station.
Oh, this is for TV. Or you were angry at the people you were working at with the TV.
Right.
Oh.
It's expensive. It's like, depending on how much you need, it can be like $300.
Okay, see, okay, I'm looking at her, official portrait. Okay, this was 2011. So what was that? She'd have been 45 here. Yeah, she looks like she's like 25 in this photo.
It's pretty wild.
Something's off about this.
Yeah.
I get to the bottom of it.
Okay.
What topic?
You work on that.
What topic did you want to discuss?
Oh, I wanted to talk about
Kev, go to Wikipedia and look at her portrait that they've got up there. You tell me if she does not look like she's 25 years old.
He's seen her.
Yeah, but I'm saying this specific on her Wikipedia page.
Yeah, let's see this portrait. Yeah, but that looks like it's from the 90s.
They claim it's 2011. It says official portrait 2011.
That is pretty crazy.
She looks the same.
Something is very wrong with this woman.
Maybe she just has a good lifestyle.
She drank from the fountain of youth.
Yeah. All right. Sorry. What were you doing? I'll get off this now.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm done. I just kind of lost interest in it. It was fun for a few minutes.
What do you think about Fetterman voting for her? He's bucking the trend, right?
Well, he's voting for a lot of these people other than the super controversial ones because he's looking for political cover. Whether it's Todd Young or Fetterman or any of these guys, very few of these people have any core set of convictions. Their core set of convictions is my power and my staying in office. And they're going to do it's the path of least resistance and do the least.
CYA. Cover your you-know-what.
So in the case of Spendingberg, he didn't want to vote for Tulsi Gabbard or RFK.
But he also didn't want to deal with Elon.
Well, right.
Whatever Elon threatened him with.
It was political suicide for him to not do that. He's already got all sorts of problems with his base. He knows that. And the same thing for Fetterman. He's going to vote for Bondi. He's going to vote for some of these other people I think he already has, but he's not going to vote for Gabbard or RFK or, he's not going to enrage his base, but he'll vote for some of these people that are palatable, to people in the middle stream and that he thinks he can get away with and put on a resume.
I bet Fetterman will vote for RFK.
Really?
Yeah, I think he will.
No kidding.
Yeah. We'll have to see if I'm right.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
What's around a Botox cost?
Well, I told you it was like $300. Depends on how much you need.
What?
Yeah.
What do you mean depends on how much you need? Don't they just give you the shot?
No, it's how many wrinkles you have and how deep they are. That sort of thing can vary.
So there's like
face to face.
Is it an economy of scale? The more you buy, the cheaper it is?
Not necessarily.
Really?
Yeah. Because it takes multiple shots.
Oh, if
it's
you
like
need
one needle and they do a little at a time all over your forehead.
And you have to go and then come back?
Yeah, it'll last a certain amount of time.
So if I got a Botox shot, it would not last?
Probably 3 months.
It's not like my hair.
4 months. Correct.
Yeah.
It's not a permanent thing.
That's completely different than the facelift, right?
Well, I would hope a facelift is permanent. Or at least...
Yeah,
what do they do in a facelift?
The facelift is
surgery.
more noticeable, I feel like.
Yeah.
That's when they try to smooth out the wrinkles.
What do they do in a facelift?
Well, I don't know. I've never had one.
But you're a woman. You're supposed to know all these things.
Yeah, I think they make cuts and re-stitch.
It's like a mask.
Yeah.
Kidding.
Pull your skin taut.
And then with the Botox, it's just a shot.
It's a shot, right.
But some people don't know. It's like any other thing. They don't know when to stop.
Well, yeah, I mean.
And what gets me is these young women that are doing it, like these women in their 20s that are turning into cat people.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm talking? You know what I'm talking about.
I believe
I've seen
Botox is for the eyes up, and filler is for the eyes down. Like you can't get Botox on your,
Oh, so it's filler that these women are getting.
Filler, yeah. It's like around your lips.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot.
Then that's the filler. That's what it is.
Yeah, to plump them up.
It's so the people who have the cartoon lips.
Yeah.
That's what that is.
Right, that's filler. That's what that is. That's not Botox.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Very good. What were we doing?
You set on this?
No, I'm fine.
I just want to. Joe Biden. Did you hear he signed with Creative Artists Agency?
Oh, of course.
A talent agency out of Hollywood.
No, is this for his singing, his dancing, his acting?
Right.
His on stage presence. What is he doing?
It's the agency that represents Barack Obama and also Michelle Obama. They represented him in the past, and he wrote some books. But could you imagine?
He wrote some. I'm doing air quotes on the YouTube. He wrote some books. Yeah.
But I'm thinking we've got a summer blockbuster in the works.
Mm-hmm.
So here we go.
Uh-oh.
This summer, one man, one cake, and a party that will change everything.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Valen. Happy birthday to you.
It's an action musical, Rob.
Yeah, an action musical.
Yeah. When the candles are lit, the countdown begins.
What would he do? He can't speak. He can't walk. He can't get off a stage.
Happy birthday, check.
What would he? I mean, other than cameo, like they might be able to milk some cameos out of him.
You think he can tap dance?
Well, that's what I'm saying. I'm not trying to be facetious. What? He can't even get off the stage on his own. How's he going to get on the stage on his own? What talent does he? I mean, he's mental. He's a mental vegetable. It's not like he can do a one-man show. What is he going to do?
I don't know. It's like, is he going to read something and try and go for the vocal spoken word Grammy?
Oh, with Jimmy Carter, because Jimmy Carter got that.
Mm-hmm.
And we all know that Jimmy Carter was in just profound entertainment condition based on the last time we saw him.
Hope you're ready. This party's about to blow.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Huh. So, I don't know. I thought he said he was going to go quietly.
What do you think a Biden...
Out of sight, out of mind.
What do you think a Biden cameo would sell for? What do you think the list price on a Biden cameo would be?
It'd probably be higher than what you think.
Really?
Yeah.
You think somebody
probably over 1,000?
What?
Yeah.
I think
for
so.
a one minute message, can he? There's no way he'd be able to speak for more than a minute.
He can't read a script.
Oh,
full stop.
Hello, Fran. That's Susie, sir. Happy birthday. Well, it's her anniversary. Oh,
whatever.
$1,000, huh?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah. We've got voicemails coming up next on 93 WIBC.
These cold winter nights mean more than just frosty windows. They can also spell trouble for your roof. Freezing temperatures, ice, and snow can lead to leaks that cause costly water damage if left unchecked. Moss Roofing is here to help. Tony Katz here, and Moss Roofing are the only ones to trust. A family business based right here in central Indiana. Whether it's a free inspection, patching a pesky leak, or a full roof replacement, their expert team has your winter roofing needs covered. Plus, they offer numerous financing options to make it easy on your wallet. Don't wait for that drip to turn into a disaster. Call Moss Roofing today for a roof done right every single time. Talk to Moss Roofing today. 317-747-3665. Tell them Tony Katz sent you. 317-747-3665. Moss Roofing, 747-3665, or find them online at Moss Roofing, MOSS, mossroofing.com.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Will he take it over? Radar is clear. It's cloudy and 32 downtown. I'm Kurt Darling for Moss Roofing. Here's what's trending at 10:30. President Trump says he's not ruling out sending troops to Gaza and for the U.S. to take over the region. After meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu in the Oval Office on Tuesday, Trump said Palestinians have no alternative but to leave Gaza and find somewhere else to live.
We'll own it and be responsible for dismantling all of the dangerous unexploded bombs and other weapons on the site, create an economic development that will supply unlimited numbers of jobs and housing for the people of the area.
Hamas called Trump's remarks ridiculous and said he's risking igniting the region. All 67 victims in last weekend's fatal midair collision near Washington, D.C. have been recovered. An American Airlines plane collided with an Army Black Hawk helicopter, causing both to fall into the Potomac River. The cockpit and tail from the regional jet were recovered earlier that day. The crash was the worst in the U.S. since 2001. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hi, I'm Charlie Comer from Comer & Cross Premium Garage Floor Coatings. If your garage floor looks bad with stains, cracks, and pits, it makes your entire garage look bad. And a bad epoxy job or chipping paint makes your garage or basement look worse. With one quick call to 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, I can save you $1,000 on a new Comer & Cross garage floor or basement floor during our winter sale. A Comer & Cross concrete floor coating is the gold standard. Guaranteed. A Comer & Cross garage floor won't chip, crack, or show tire lift like epoxy or paint ever. What's the Comer & Cross difference? We make it so easy. We move your stuff out for you. We fix the cracks and pits perfectly. In one day, you will love your gleaming new Comer & Cross garage floor or basement floor just in time for spring. Call us right now for $1,000 in savings during our winter sale. Operators are standing by now at 1-800-NEW-FLOOR. That's 1-800-NEW-FLOOR, or go to COMERcross.com.
Attention Indianapolis Medicaid members. If you need assistance with daily living, you can receive a free service from Freedom Care in your own home from a loved one who lives with you. With Freedom Care, you decide who provides your daily care, helping you with preparing meals, bathing, laundry, transportation, and more. A family member or friend that gets paid instantly. It's all through Medicaid, and as an Indianapolis resident, it's 100% free to you. New to Medicaid? The Freedom Care family will guide you through enrollment, making it stress-free for patients and caregivers. With over 7,000 five-star Google reviews, we've perfected at-home care for Medicaid members and caregivers. If you live in the Indianapolis area, this service is free to you through Medicaid, and with our InstaPay app, caregivers can choose to get paid instantly. So go to freedomcare.com or call 463-232-7342, 463-232-7342, 463-232-7342.
Freedom Care, we're here for
Show your true love and spoil her with that special Valentine's gift from Pierce Jewelers in Carmel that says, I love you. Remember, shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
Inside Indiana Business Radio, the news you need to get ahead. Indiana's business news leader, weekdays at 6:32 a.m. and 5:56 p.m. on WIBC.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WIBC. It's time to hear from you. Kendall and Casey present voicemails.
317-684-8444. That is the phone number if you'd like to get involved with voicemails. And we start off with Trucker John. We haven't heard from him in a while, and he wanted to call and tell us everything that he has learned from the Kendall and Casey Show.
I just realized this past weekend exactly how much I listen and retain to this show. I was up in Indianapolis for the WWE Royal Rumble, and, well, the first thing I did when I got to town was I was able to show my appreciation to the State House, you know, tell them they were number one. And then as I was waiting to get into Lucas Oil Stadium, that big mass of people, I heard people talking about the stadium, and I heard people talking about, oh, it's got a retractable roof. And the first thing I thought of was, yeah, but it's only been opened about 8 times. And we are paying for it, or at least the donut counties in the city are paying for it and not getting their money's worth for a losing team. And it was just a mess getting in there. Then, of course, on the way out, people were complaining about not having rides out there because Uber and them weren't coming out. And I said, well, what do you expect? With the crime rate, nobody wants to pick up anybody. And then on my way out of town, hitting all the potholes and driving through the bad parts of town to get home. Yeah, pretty much everything I hear about on this show on a daily basis I experienced or took note of while I was up there. So it was a fun weekend. Other than that, I had a great time. Y'all have a good one. Talk to you later.
And then he went to his house and went, wow, my property taxes are too high.
Yeah, I've become friends with Trucker John on Facebook, and he lives quite the adventurous life. He posts a lot of his travels, and He does a lot of interesting things.
Well, it's nice that he had a good time at the Royal Rumble, that's for sure.
Wasn't Trucker John the rapper?
Yeah, I think it was Nebula Entertainment was his.
Yeah, we need Trucker John to do us another rap again sometime.
Is he still making music?
I don't know. I mean, I'm not like stalking him. I said I just like see his posts. They'll pop up in my.
I'll have to check in
feed.
with them.
Yeah, we need a new rap. That's what I don't think that's what Braun needs to get this thing over the finish line.
Is that what he needs?
A property tax rap from Trucker John.
Okay.
Yeah, spice it up a little
Yeah,
bit.
there you go. Maybe Braun could play that at his meetings with these lawmakers.
Can you imagine that?
Just drop the mic.
All right, so a little assignment there for you.
Yeah.
Okay, another phone call. Now, you've been mentioning how in the committee hearing for SB1, the property tax reform bill, that the people who are in opposition are going to show up and they're getting paid to be there.
Yeah.
Right?
Some of them.
And it's very hard for you because you have a job.
That's right.
And you can't
I had to be here.
take the day off.
You saw
right?
it in person that I had to be right here.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we did get a phone call about this.
Uh-oh.
This call came in on Monday, so keep in mind this is a few days ago. But
What is today? Is today Wednesday?
Today's Wednesday. But here is proof of exactly what you've been talking about.
Hey, I just want to let you guys know that I did receive a phone call today from the state in reference to the property taxes to be able to go tomorrow to a committee and be able to talk about my increase in my personal property taxes here in Plainfield, Indiana. So they are calling, and unfortunately it's too early of a notice, or too late of a notice, I should say, to be able to go, but just want to give a heads up that they're calling, asking for people to go and talk to a committee in reference to your personal situations and your property tax increase. I wish I can go. Unfortunately, like I said, they called today, which is Monday, for tomorrow at 10 in the morning. So I can't miss work for that one. If it was a week down the road, I could have, of course, planned it.
Yeah.
And but anyways, I just want to let you know, thank you, and looks like they're moving forward, and I appreciate the reach out to be able to go talk to the governor. That would be awesome.
So, and in fairness, I think I found out when Braun found out. So they didn't let him give him any notice. And this is my point. It's a rigged system where Sue Finkham, the mayor of Carmel, or whatever that loser is that runs Terre Haute now, they get to just skedoodle on out the door and go, I'm going to Indy for the day, and that's my job. Right? They don't have to take off work. That is their job. They're literally getting paid to lobby against you as a taxpayer. What do you have to do? You have to go produce to pay these people. And that's what that hearing yesterday really showed you. It showed how much these local government people believe you exist to serve them. They don't believe they exist to serve you. They think you exist to go to work to pay for the things that they want to buy. Now, some of them are necessary. Some of them are necessary. The police, the fire, the deputy sheriffs, the roads, the bridges. No doubt about that. But that wasn't what this was about. This is about these people not wanting to have any interruption in the gravy train and how they have to do their jobs and manage their money.
By the way, the mayor of Terre Haute that spoke is Brandon Sackman.
Yeah, he got mouthy with me one day on Twitter, and then he shut up real fast when I called Terre Haute exactly what it was, which is a giant, decades and generations long cesspool of awful and corruption. And I can say that because my family's from Terre Haute, and I lived there for a year.
Of course, Governor Braun promised to find a balance between tax relief and adequate funding for local governments. We had a conversation yesterday about HOA fees, and if you don't pay your HOA, what will happen to you?
Oh, why did we have that? Why did we?
Because mine was raised.
That's right. I mean, they do nothing.
They put salt down when it snows.
They do.
They shovel.
Yeah.
They do come and cut the postage stamp of grass.
You could do that with a weed whacker, Casey.
I could just walk on it.
I mean, you basically get nothing for your HOA other than what they salt you But all those cars are parked where they go salt areas where the cars are parked.
Right.
You're getting screwed.
Thanks.
I mean, they're basically thieving money from you.
Thanks for the reminder.
They're thieving money through force.
I feel really good about
Why
it.
don't
now.
you just sell your house and get out of there? I mean, seriously, what is making you live in that hellhole that you live in? I mean, your neighborhood is fine.
Would anybody like to buy my hellhole?
Well, you wanted to live there.
It's a nice place.
Your house is nice. The little neighborhood you live in is fine. But would you go walking outside of the little gated area you live.
Not without protection.
Exactly. Why do you do this to yourself? Clearly somebody would buy it. Property values, we're told, have risen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why don't you come live in a suburb somewhere where
know
they
what?
can treat you like
There's
garbage?
one down the road that is for sale.
Get out of Indianapolis,
See
Casey!
what the comp is. No, you know what I love about living in Indy the most is the 2.5 mile detour that I get to take around Washington Street.
Did you send me something that there's
is still
some
under
new
construction.
thing with Washington Street?
Yeah, they found another problem. You know, that project was supposed to be $2.5 million, and it was supposed to be completed in September of last year. Now they said that there's another major problem. They were doing some inspection on it. They said that, I don't know, some arch or something is completely deteriorated. It can't be saved. So now they got to sink another $5 million into it, doubling their initial estimate, and it's not going to be done now for another year.
How are you just twice as wrong? Like, can you imagine a business being like, we're going to do a job, we're going to invest in this business. Oh, okay. How much does it cost? Here's the cost. And then it's twice as much. That person would be fired. The person that, I mean, like, how does that even?
Well, imagine being one of the local businesses around there. I mean, they're getting no traffic.
I can relate to this to some extent because the Mensa members who are in charge of, now this is a state project, but Main Street in Brownsburg has been tore up for a year. I mean, it's just a nightmare. You'll love this. Oh, by the way, I have something I have to ask you next hour. I think I might have saw a crime against humanity, and do I have an obligation to report it? I need to get into that next hour.
Good Samaritan law.
But, the other day. So it's been torn up for like a year, and they just move from one patch to the next. There's no like rhyme or reason, and then they'll just announce it. And the other day, I'm leaving the town hall paying my overpriced water bill, which actually worked now this time. And I'm getting ready to leave and pull out. So they've got the sign, like it's cones everywhere. Some's dug up. It's all trash, but some of it you can actually drive on from one road to the next. So they've got the no right turn sign. Okay, cool. You can't go right. I see that. The cones are moved, so I start to go left. I go left, and then there's just a giant batch of cones where you would go left. So then I'm like, all right, where do I go? I guess I'll go straight. Well, then you go straight, and then you see another batch of cones. Some lady in a vest starts moving aggressively towards me, and I just looked at her and I said, the sign says no right turn. I said, before you come over here, because I've had it with these people, right? The up for which I cannot stand with that town is done reached its limit. And
Why don't you get out of there?
Yeah.
Why don't you leave?
She's like
Brownsburg?
moving aggressively towards me. I'm like, it says no right turn. She's like, well, it's no left turn too, but I had to move those cones. Well, you moved the cones. Couldn't there be some sort of temporary? I hate this place. I hate this. And now they're doing it to you. Now at least you're getting it too.
You know what's going to happen, Rob? We're going to get kicked out of our homes, and we're just going to have to go buy some property and be neighbors.
The one thing going for you, at least, is your house is very close to both where you and your husband work.
This is true. That's why I bought it to begin with.
Yeah.
But do we want to air this phone call?
Yes,
about
I'm sorry. Yes,
what happens to you if you don't pay your HOA fee?
I'm sorry.
All right, here we go.
Hi, I just wanted to comment on the discussion on HOA fees and how they can be pursued. So my wife is actually on the board of my neighborhood HOA, and from her being on there, I've kind of learned that the HOA bylaws and covenants are actually attached to the deed of a property. And so you are kind of bound by those rules when you buy a property in an HOA-covered neighborhood. Now, as far as the fees that they charge or your dues, they typically can go after a homeowner for not paying the dues, and I believe they may even be able to attach the legal costs of pursuing a homeowner for such fees. Now, what that could lead to, I mean, I'm not really a HOA lawyer myself, so I can't really say. It could just be a collections thing, could be a lien on the property, who knows. But they do have legal recourses should they need to go after someone for not paying their dues. I hope this answers all your questions. Have a good day. Bye.
So I signed the dotted line when I bought the house. I love it how he said I'm not an HOA lawyer. Like, is that a specialty? What?
Sure it is.
What do you practice? I practice HOA.
That's funny.
Hammer's going to join us next on 93 WIBC.
This afternoon on the Hammer and Nigel show, Allison has promised to go home with caller number 9. Yeah! Okay, I'm being told that's not going to happen.
No.
We'll just have the biggest stories of the day and maybe Tony Kennett, 93 WIBC.
The holidays are over, and the new year is here, making it the perfect time to think about the future. More specifically, it's the perfect time to think about your financial future. Right now, Howard Bailey Financial is offering a free retirement toolkit, a comprehensive guide designed to help you plan, save, and jumpstart the retirement you deserve. To get your free copy today, text FUTURE to 888-262-1104 and download your free retirement toolkit. Start 2025 off with a gift to yourself, filled with all the tools you need to plan for a positive and purpose-filled future. Just text FUTURE to 888-262-1104 to start planning today. Make this new year your year to invest in yourself and secure a brighter tomorrow, starting today. Howard Bailey Securities, LLC is an independent financial services firm and uses a variety of different investment strategies. Please see disclosures at howardbailey.com.
Many times, patients have symptoms they didn't know were actually related to their airway breathing issues.
I was suffering from sinus issues, jaw issues, and neck pain. I guess I just kind of had my breaking point.
Unfortunately, this is typical. But until you get to the root of your problem, it's going to just persist. Fortunately, Jody took action, and the results were typical as well.
My quality of life is so different. But one of the first things that I noticed was my breathing. I don't ever remember being able to breathe like that.
Being able to breathe freely is life-changing, and the effects can go beyond that.
Sleeping better, having more energy, and it seemed as if all of those symptoms that I had just melted away.
And thank heavens for that, because at Advent, results are what drive us, helping you breathe well so you can live better.
Results may vary. Most insurance accepted.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avacincaptad pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577.
Service today?
Today.
Best are us when dreams don't get in. Best are us.
Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 765-545-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to BathsRUs.com. 765-545-BATH.
Best are us when dreams don't get in. Best are us.
Custom home builder Joiner Homes is truly a one-stop shop because every stage of the process is done in one location. From picking the perfect home site to selecting the ideal floor plan, their architecture team will create a set of custom blueprints. Then into the design studio where you'll personalize every detail of your new home. A dedicated project manager oversees the home construction through completion. Joiner Homes will build you the most beautiful custom home. Check out their 5-star Google reviews and visit joinerhomes.com.
City water or well water, get better water with C&J. You just can't find anybody better than the pros at C&J. Great systems and great people, too. Just call them, 317-733-SOFT.
You want to listen all day to WIBC, but you don't always have time. Don't worry. There's a podcast for that. The WIBC Mashup. Daily highlights from your favorite hosts, Tony Katz, Kendall and Casey, and Hammer and Nigel. Subscribe wherever you get your podcasts.
The big show starts at 3 o'clock, and here he is, Jason Hammer from the Hammer and Nigel program. Hello.
You look lovely today, Casey.
Oh, thank you. You look good, too.
Rob, you're here.
Hey, Fade IU rides again.
Yes. I forgot that game, came on last night because it was a later start. It was up in Wisconsin, right? Even by Wisconsin standards, this is a little later tip-off. So I'm doing some other stuff. I'm like, oh, crap, it's like 9:20. And I turned the game on. 24-4.
Yeah.
Well, I think I'll see what the Pacers are up to here just a little bit.
And theirs wasn't much better.
No.
But as we said yesterday, we had a new podcast, Degenerates Next Door. You got some prop bets for the Super Bowl out, and I said on the show, I said, Fade IU. And the spread was 8.5. And
in Wisconsin, which they have not won since the 90s. And think about IU's had some good teams, like that Oladipo group and Yogi Ferrell and Cody Zeller.
Went to the national championship game one year.
All went up to Madison and got an ass whipping. And the beat goes on, right? Yep. Madison and Iowa, the two places the Hoosiers can never win.
Can't let Woodson coach that game against Michigan with Dusty May on the bench, can they?
I think they can. They're not going to make any moves if they do until the end of the year.
Wow.
But they might not. Like, how much pull does Quinn Buckner have? Why are you letting this dude be the puppet master, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's a mess down there.
I just hate because those games are over before they start. It's like, you couldn't even give me one lousy round, Mo. I mean, you couldn't even give me 5 minutes of entertainment.
Yeah. Like I said, by the time I remembered it was on, they were down by 20, 24-4 or something like that. It was not good. Not good at all.
Tell us about something good.
Something good is raising money for Hoosier veterans, and that's what our bowling event is doing. We sold a couple more lanes the last couple of days.
Yeah, I like that.
So as of yesterday, and I haven't checked yet today, there were only 7 lanes left. We started with 22.
Yep.
There's only 7 lanes left. A lane is 6 people.
Yeah.
So if your office or your group of friends wants to buy a full lane, you get it. If you and a buddy or a couple buddies just want to buy individual tickets, we will put you guys in a lane of 6 people. So you can buy individual tickets, you can buy a full lane, and it helps a couple different charities. Bowling for Veterans Link, they help Hoosier veterans here in Indy for a number of different reasons. And there's another one called Operation Ride Home. Oh. This is one that our sponsor, Jack Daniels, works with. Hoosier veterans that might not have means to get home for the holidays, they take care of them. Give them a place to stay, give them airfare so they can at least see their family and come back and forth.
Tequila, where are we at with that?
Oh, man. So Castleton's location is out. Sold out of the Hammer and Nigel Show Tequila by Hiatus in Castleton. Sold out.
I love that because I've been totally blitzed at that Castleton Ale Emporium before, so I love that they were the first one to go out.
The stories of young Rob Kendall are fantastic, right? Like the origin story of this, bill writing legislative monster that we see right now.
Yeah.
Deep inside, there's a guy that was going out to Broad Ripple, wearing his hat backwards, wearing puka shell necklaces.
I once
sleeping in his car.
True story. I once wrote a tax cut on a napkin at the Cadillac Ranch about 7 Bud Lights in. I mean, a lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff. But yes, I'm very proud that the Ale Emporium in Castleton was the first one to sell.
Now, the Greenwood Ale Emporium and Fisher's Ale Emporium, as of yesterday, only had a few bottles left. It might be gone by now. I don't know. So if you want to grab a bottle, stop by there today and see if they have any, but they might be all out. I don't know. So yesterday, Rob, I sent you a little screenshot of a post that Channel 13 had out, right? My good friends.
Your friends. Old 2Ls.
Over at Channel 13. And it was everything that we had talked about the day before. Yeah. Because you called into our show on a rare Monday appearance because it was property tax eve, right? It was like your Christmas Eve. So we're laying the groundwork of what was going to be said by the local media, and Channel 13 said every bit of it. So let's do a little role-playing here, okay? I'm going to be somebody responding to the Channel 13 fear-mongering article, and you be somebody giving me the truth.
Okay, very good.
But Rob, I saw that Channel 13 says if we pass these property taxes, yes, some of that will go down, but communities will crumble. The communities won't have any money, and the schools and the drug rehab centers and all the organizations will just dry up and it'll all be gone.
Carmel has a $25 million taxpayer-funded hotel.
Coming up at 3 o'clock this afternoon, biggest stories in Indy. Tony Kennett is scheduled to join us, and we are going to have a lot of fun. You guys know how we do it.
Thanks, Hammer. It's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
If you built a house, you'd start with a strong foundation, right? Now, if you want to build a financial game plan for retirement, you'd start with Social Security. That's the foundation, and here's why. The decision to file for Social Security could impact your taxes, IRA, and 401k withdrawals, spousal benefits, and even your Medicare premiums. Everything is impacted by Social Security. That's why it's critical you get this right.
Nobody knows Social Security like our guy, Bill Demery, your retirement guy here in Indy. Bill is going to do customized. That's important. Customized Social Security analysis just for you. Everybody's different. He'll customize yours. And it's free. Absolutely free, even if you're not a client. So if you've saved more than $200,000 and have not yet filed for Social Security, call our guy, Bill Demery, 317-648-5120. 317-648-5120. Bill Demery, your retirement guy.
Pat Sullivan here for Hope Plumbing. Have you been dreaming of kitchen updates since the new year began? My friends at Hope Plumbing want you to love your plumbing. Update your faucets, fixtures, water heaters, and more with a $100 off a $500 plus plumbing service. Make your remodel dreams or small home update wishes come true and start to love your plumbing again. Call and schedule an appointment today at 317-641-HOPE or visit them online at hopeplumbing.com.
Dads happen. There's a whole lot of stuff that can mess up the look of your vehicle. Don't paint your car. Go PDR with Kill a Dent Removal. PDR is paintless dent removal that saves your factory finish and is way less invasive than traditional body shop repairs. And it's faster too, sometimes same day. Google Kill a Dent Removal and check out the reviews and photos. Then schedule your repair. Hail baseballs, kids, fender benders, shopping carts, flying cows, angry X's, and anything else that leaves dents. Don't paint your car. Go PDR with Kill a Dent Removal.
I'm Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I learned about atrial fibrillation the hard way. My symptoms would come and go. Shortness of breath, fatigue. I kept going. Then I got so lightheaded, I couldn't. My doctor said I have AFib, so I'm about 5 times more likely to have a stroke. Other symptoms, irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain can come and go, but the risk of stroke stays. If you have symptoms, tell a doctor. Visit notimetowait.com.
Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Discover cancer care that empowers you at Community Health Network MD Anderson Cancer Center by offering the expert, compassionate care you need.
When I was at my lowest, I would have 2 or 3 nurses come in to give me a pep talk, telling me it's okay to feel this way. It's normal, but you have us to support you and you will get through this.
Learn more at ecommunity.com/cancer.
The Suburban Indie Home and Outdoor Living Show
returns to Grand Park February 7th through 9th.
Find inspiration from over 200 exhibitors, artisans, and crafters.
SuburbanIndieShows.com.
Coming up in 2 minutes, the case was made both for and against a property tax proposal on Tuesday, plus why police had a long morning in Indianapolis, and the season goes from bad to worse for the Indiana Hoosiers. I'm Kirk Darling. That and more coming up from the Technology Recycler Studios after Fox News Radio. You're listening to 93 WIBC, WIBC HD1 Indianapolis. It's 11 o'clock.
It's another transgender executive order that could be challenged in court.
I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News, and President Trump plans to sign it.
Coinciding with National Girls and Women in Sports Day.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House, where this new order aims to prevent athletes born male from competing in female sports.
The order would reinterpret Title IX, a federal law requiring gender equity in athletics and preventing sexual harassment. President Trump has already signed an order that says the U.S. government recognizes two genders, male and female.
Now, just yesterday, a federal judge blocked another Trump order that would have moved transgender female inmates out of women's prisons into facilities for men. And President Trump tries to shrink the federal workforce. More than 20,000 workers have accepted his offer to resign and accept buyouts. Democrats are upset that Elon Musk is leading the charge to downsize at the new Department of Government Efficiency.
Who is this unelected billionaire that he can attempt to dismantle federal agencies, fire people?
That's Democratic Congressman Jerry Conley at a hearing this morning calling for the House Oversight Committee to subpoena Musk for questioning. President Trump's getting pushback from other world leaders to his plan to have the U.S. take over Gaza and rebuild it and move all the displaced Palestinians to other countries. National Security Advisor Michael Waltz just told Fox.
Let's talk in practical, humane terms about what's going to happen to 2 million people who are living in piles of rubble, no sewage, no sanitation. It's a wasteland with bullets flying.
Many leaders still prefer a Palestinian state, and Fox's Trey Ingst reports from Tel Aviv, Israel.
This is significant and has serious implications for the ongoing ceasefire conversations. A senior Hamas official speaking with Fox News this morning said that any manipulation to the current deal could cause it to collapse.
And we're just getting word out of Ohio. Police have captured the man who went on a shooting spree at his warehouse workplace late last night in New Albany, killing one coworker and wounding 5 others. America's listening to Fox News.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Concerned about its impact. It's 32 degrees and cloudy downtown. I'm Kirk Darling for Moss Roofing. Here's what's trending at 11:02. Lawmakers delved into the topic of cutting your property taxes for the first time on Tuesday. A state Senate committee heard testimony from all kinds of people, including leaders of local governments, concerned the bill may force them to cut essential services.
The negative impacts of this bill would likely lead to a mandated 10 to 15% cut, which would put the city of Terre Haute in a very, very poor position from a public safety standpoint.
Terre Haute Mayor Brandon Sackbun. Governor Braun says he understands their concerns, but says taxpayers are in need of relief. An hours-long standoff ended with a man surrendering on the southwest side overnight. IMPD responded just after midnight Wednesday and later discovered the incident occurred at a home across the street from where a woman appeared to have been stabbed. The suspect gave up about 5 hours later. Rain, ice, and snow are all in the forecast for the next few days. Ryan Hedrick explains.
Temperatures will warm up overnight Wednesday into Thursday, but by Friday, they'll drop back down into the 30s, bringing more snow this weekend.
Our best chances over the weekend really look like on Saturday, when we have about a 90% chance of precipitation on that day.
Forecaster Jason Puma at the National Weather Service Indianapolis says on top of that, we could see more snow on Monday. Ryan Hedrick, 93 WIBC Mobile News.
A woman faces up to 40 years in prison after being charged with dealing drugs that resulted in death in Brazil. Susan Burrows was arrested on Tuesday. Court documents, though, have not detailed what led to her arrest. The Indiana Hoosiers once again lost to the 21st-ranked Wisconsin Badgers in Madison, 76-64 Tuesday.
Right now, we're not tough. We're just not a tough team right now. We're not, and mentally, we're not tough. You spot teams on the road 20, it's going to be tough to get back in them.
IU head coach Mike Woodson. That's now 21 straight losses for the Hoosiers at the Kohl Center. The Hoosiers will now face Michigan Saturday as they sit 5-7 in Big Ten play. I'm Kirk Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
These cold winter nights mean more than just frosty windows. They can also spell trouble for your roof. Freezing temperatures, ice, and snow can lead to leaks that cause costly water damage if left unchecked. Moss Roofing is here to help. Tony Katz here, and Moss Roofing are the only ones to trust. A family business based right here in central Indiana. Whether it's a free inspection, patching a pesky leak, or a full roof replacement, their expert team has your winter roofing needs covered. Plus, they offer numerous financing options to make it easy on your wallet. Don't wait for that drip to turn into a disaster. Call Moss Roofing today for a roof done right every single time. Talk to Moss Roofing today. 317-747-3665. Tell them Tony Katz sent you. 317-747-3665. Moss Roofing, 747-3665, or find them online at Moss Roofing, M-O-S-S, mossroofing.com.
This hour on 93 WIBC is powered by Pierce Jewelers, Carmel's Diamond Engagement Ring Store.
You're listening to Rob Kendall.
When we talk about sending money somewhere, we're talking about printing the money because we have no money.
And Casey Daniels.
My government would never lie to me, would they?
On 93 WIBC.
Oh my gosh, I made such a bad mistake.
What'd you do?
Oh, I'm so embarrassed. I'm embarrassed to admit this out loud, but I have to because, we're honest people here. And when we make mistakes, we correct it. What are the 3 steps?
Oh, when you make a mistake?
Yes, what are the 3 steps?
You need to admit the mistake, apologize, and then take corrective action.
Okay, I've made a mistake. I'm sorry, and my corrective action is to give you the correct information. Is that good? Am I doing the 3 steps?
Yeah.
Okay, so when Hammer was on for his regular segment, we were laughing at the
doing a little role playing.
Well, yeah, we were doing role playing, and we were laughing at the outrage, the fake outrage, or the ridiculous headlines from places like WTHR about the property tax hearing yesterday. And my job was to respond to. He's pretending to be, this outraged caller, and my job was to respond to him. And when he mentioned the headline, of course, from WTHR, my response was, Carmel has a $25 million publicly funded hotel. And it turns out, Casey, I was way off.
It's not 25?
No, it's not 25. And I want to make sure we get the number correct. It's actually 58.5.
Oh, 58.5? That's more than double.
This is according to Indy Star. What day was this? Let's see. July 28, 2021. The boutique hotel opened in August 2020 at a cost of $58.5 million. The Carmel City Council authorized a review of the hotel project. Seems like you should have reviewed the project before spending the $58.5 million. It came in, by the way, exceeding its budget by $18.5 million.
Oh.
The original budget was $40. It went $18.5 million over. So Carmel, in addition to a $55 million swimming pool, has a $58.5 million publicly funded hotel, and that mayor had the audacity yesterday to walk into that committee hearing and act like there's going to be some suffering in the city of Carmel if you get help with your property taxes.
If you can't afford to pay your property tax bill, do you get to stay in that hotel? Is that what it's for?
You ever been to the Hotel Carmichael?
No.
Yeah. Oh, it's our pal Troy Kennett, who plays keys for Mellencamp. He is the regular in-house musician there, or at least he was, and he used to play there quite a bit. So we've gone. So it's very nice.
I'm sure it is.
Highest prices in Central Indiana. Very very nice.
Yeah.
And that's fine if people want to stay there. But you've got the government in the hotel business. It's, again, very nice, probably a lovely place to stay, very friendly people that work there. But you've got the government in the hotel business at a tune of $58.5 million, went $18.5 million over budget. How many police and fire would $58.5 million pay for? Get out of here, lady.
Yeah.
This is what I'm saying. This is the grossness of these people that they have. And think about it, in Carmel, then let's throw the Palladium, the reflexive pool, blah, 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 blah. All of these things. We could do a whole show on stupid crap funded by Carmel.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll do that one day. An entire show, stupid crap funded by Carmel. The fake people on the streets.
I like that. We should actually do that tomorrow. Come up with the list. Not only is the government, though, in the hotel business, they're in the stadium business as well.
Well, she sat there with a straight face and acted like something bad is going to happen in Carmel if you get any sort of property tax relief. Get out of here. So anyway, I wanted to follow the steps, take the corrective action.
Right, you did.
And now we can go on with the show.
You've corrected yourself, but how awesome was Mike Braun's answer to that? Prove it.
Well, these are the sort of things he's talking about, right? There's no way any remotely respectable person, and this tells you the sort of people you're dealing with. This tells you the sort of people that you're dealing with. That you got $58.5 million for a hotel. You're just scratching the surface on stuff in Carmel that's funded by the government that the government has no business being involved in, and yet she goes in there and tries to make you feel like you're some sort of bad person and you're going to harm the poor police and firemen.
For asking her to be responsible.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. Anyway, so what else are we doing here?
We're going to talk about how the Democrats have a new enemy. And it's Elon Musk. It's the messenger.
Oh.
They want to shoot the messenger.
Sure, yeah.
So the White House released their list of U.S. aid projects that they're considering wasteful. We reviewed some of them yesterday.
This must be good because Kevin, I can always tell, Kevin sits there so quiet and well-behaved, only talks when he's called on. But I can tell when Kevin's into something, he has a big grin on his face. And you look like whatever this is, you're just ready to bust at the seams. What is this? What is he doing?
Well, they had that big rally yesterday.
They did?
Where they all stood up and pretty much attacked Elon Musk.
Oh, this was Schumer. This was Schumer.
Schumer,
yeah.
all of them were there. Maxine Waters was there. And, Presley even said, "We will see you in the streets."
Oh.
Threatening. But all this drama just because Americans simply asked what our tax dollars are funding. So let's go to Maxine Waters as she completely loses it.
Hello, everybody. We have convened here in the right place, the Treasury Department. We have got to tell Elon Musk, nobody elected your ass.
Oh, boy.
Nobody told you could get all of our private information. Nobody told you could be in charge of the payments of this country. We have told you you've made enough money off our government yourself. And now you want to take everybody else's payroll and make sure that they don't make the kind of money that you've made. Oh, you want to use our money to go to Mars? No. We want to use our money right here in Washington, D.C.
Oh, wait, you got to stop it. You got to stop it. She said, we want to use our money right here in Washington, D.C. Is that where the $1.5 million in DEI initiatives in Serbia went?
I have a brilliant idea, Casey. Just hear me out on this.
Yeah.
I think we should hire Maxine Waters to read, those audiobooks, The Great Gatsby. Oh. I think we should hire her to read The Great... Kev, can you just play the classics? Just the beginning of that. Just the beginning of that again for me.
Hello, everybody. We have convened here in the right place, the Treasury Department.
Can you imagine her reading F. Scott Fitzgerald? It would be great. It would be a national bestseller. It'd be the video of the little guy throwing the money out the window. What are those called? The little rascal guy throwing the money out the window. That people would be lined up to purchase. Just the beginning. Just imagine her reading Gatsby in that voice and that tone.
Hello, everybody. We have convened here in the right place, the Treasury Department.
Trump gave him permission, by the way. But do you remember when they were all cheering about the potential of hiring 87,000 IRS agents that were going to audit you? But the second that the government is being audited, whoa, slow down, take it easy there. But let's move on to number 14, the Chuck Schumer one, because Chuck Schumer he's going on his own rant, attacking Elon Musk, saying we won't rest and we will win. No, Chuck, you lost.
And we cannot allow Elon Musk and a small group of people to secretly, behind closed doors, take away our privacy, take away our dollars, take away everything we have.
Who take away our dollars?
Yeah.
They're the taxpayers' dollars that they were sending to other countries for transgender comic book fairs in Peru.
And you notice for 4 years, and both sides do this, right? They had no problem with intense executive authority, right? Like Biden canceled or tried to cancel. He was knocked down in the courts multiple times. But how many billions in student loan debt, and tried to get you fired if you didn't get the vaccine. And I mean, all of this stuff they were just fine with. And now he's not even doing anything. It's like this guy's he's not even an official member of the government. He's some guy who's got permission by executive authority to be there and take a look at our finances. And Chuck Schumer missed his calling in life. he would have been, and we're going to talk to Abdul next, so Abdul will appreciate this. He would have been a great, like, Batman villain. Like, Schumer looks straight out of Central Casting, like some sort of just bad Marvel comic book villain. Doesn't he? He sounds the part, too.
Yeah, he does. We know he doesn't know how to grill.
All right. Abdul's going to join us next. He was down at the federal courthouse. Our old pal, Dishonest Gabe, had his court hearing today. I believe he is now admitted in front of God and humanity that he did the thing that we've said for two and a half years, or however long it's been now that he did. And so Abdul was there. I guess Abdul became a central focus of the hearing. I guess it just totally.
I saw Abdul yesterday during the committee hearing for the property tax thing.
So we're going to ask, get a status update there on where Dishonest Gabe is at. I don't know if that officially makes him a felon since he said he did it, or if he's got to formally be sentenced before he's formally. I don't know.
We'll find out.
Yeah, we'll find out.
All right, it's coming up next on 93 WIBC.
Hammer and Nigel.
The commander-in-chief no longer needs a diaper change. The commander-in-chief doesn't have to watch Matlock with pudding smeared on his face. We've got a commander-in-chief that no longer falls up and down the stairs multiple times. I'm excited for that. If anything else.
Let's see how long it takes before Pencil Neck Adam Schiff to file some impeachment charge.
Hammer and Nigel, weekdays 3 till 7 on 93 WIBC and WIBC.com.
Hey, it's Rob for Universal Windows Direct. Valentine's Day is right around the corner, and that's why they're in the middle of Love Your Windows sales event. And right now, for every 2 windows you buy, you get the next 2 free. Let's do a little public school math, shall we? Need 4 windows? You're only going to pay for 2. Need 20? You're only going to pay for 10. It's the perfect way to save big while upgrading your home. Oh, and that's not all. Universal Windows Direct is offering no interest financing for 3 years. That's 36 months of easy payments with 0% interest. Already have a price from another company. Universal Windows Direct will beat it, so you know you're getting the best deal around. Now, some restrictions might apply. So to get all the information and schedule your totally free, no hassle, no obligation in-home estimate today, call Universal Windows Direct, 317-659-7574, 317-659-7574. And check them out on the web. See everything for yourself. See the work they do and the work available to you. UniversalWindowsDirect.com. UniversalWindowsDirect.com. Tell them Rob sent you.
If you're living with dry age-related macular degeneration or dry AMD, you may be at risk for developing geographic atrophy or GA. GA can be unpredictable and progress rapidly, leading to irreversible vision loss. Now there's something you can do to
slow it down and get it going slower.
Izervay is proven to slow GA progression.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Izervay or avastin-capted Pagel is a prescription eye injection used to treat GA. Don't take it if you have an infection or active swelling in or around your eye. Izervay can cause eye infection, retinal detachment, or increased risk of wet AMD. Izervay may temporarily increase eye pressure. Your vision may be impaired after an eye injection or exam. Don't delay. Ask your doctor about Izervay today.
Izervay gets GA going slower.
Visit Izervay.com. That's IZERVAY.com.
Big Joe here for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, B&W HVAC Plumbing and Electrical.
Coming home to a cold house in the dead of winter isn't just inconvenient, it's expensive. For over 60 years, thousands of Hoosiers have trusted B&W to catch their problems early and keep their families warm and safe. Call 317-214-0108 or go to bplusw.com for fast, reliable service today.
That's 317-214-0108. B&W, your American Standard dealer since 1961.
What is it you say, Abdul?
Nice job, Kevin.
I see what you did there. What is it you say, Abdul? The arc of the universe is long. I think Kev needs to turn your microphone on there. There we go. The arc of, is that what you say? The arc of the universe is long?
Yes, it is.
And
eventually you get what you work for.
Well, it's arcing.
Yes, it is.
It's getting shorter. You spent the morning over at the federal courthouse down the street from us.
Yes. Today was a plea hearing, in a nutshell, for Honest Gabe Whitley, who is no stranger to these airways for a myriad of reasons. The guy's got so much litigation pending. I thought he was a lawyer at first when I go to mycase.gov and
there's a lot.
Check out everything.
It's fun to read sometimes.
Oh, yeah. This stems back to a couple years ago when he claimed he had all these campaign finance donors and raised hundreds of thousands of dollars, which all turned out to be a big, giant, fat lie.
Yes.
And thanks to lovely Mrs. Kendall, she went through with a fine-tooth comb and sort of analyzed a number of his...
Don't lie to my wife. She'll figure it out.
Yes, she will. And so I sent that last year to then U.S. Attorney Zach Myers. Hey, Zach, Merry Christmas.
Yeah.
And so went through the process. And so today, Gabe entered a guilty plea. He'll be sentenced in a couple of months. But it was pretty standard stuff.
Right. So I have a couple questions on this. So he said today in front of God and everyone, I did this thing. I made these people up, and I am guilty of this thing to which we have said for multiple years now that he did.
I'm going to assume yes, because here's the interesting part about today, and leave it to yours truly to disrupt everything. When I came in the courtroom and sat down behind him, he looked at me, and I kind of looked at him. Then he whispered over to his lawyer. Then his lawyer's like, Your Honor, can I get a sidebar, please? That's when the lawyers go up to the bench.
Okay, so for some people who may be new to the process, he is facing criminal charges here locally over essentially threatening you online.
Yeah, taking pictures of my home and posting online saying someone should commit violence against me, like they did with the whole shooter thing with Donald Trump, the assassination attempt last year.
And now this is different from what he was at today. This was a local charge.
Yeah, these are federal charges.
Yeah.
Federal campaign finance.
He's got a lot of stuff against him. Yeah, he got a lot of problems. Okay, so part of that is you got a restraining order against him, but you're still entitled to show up to places your government is operating. You're not violating any of that.
Right. And so the thing was, they had to sidebar, and then they had to take a brief recess. So the judge went back in his chambers.
Because he for some reason hates you.
Yes.
We've never figured out why this is, but what you do to him, I wish I could. There's a whole bunch of people I wish I could do to them.
When you play victim, you have to have someone to blame.
The way you set him off is a marvel.
Well, I'll also argue the opposite of love isn't hate, it's indifference. Hint, hint, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But that's a whole other story for a whole other time. So they do the sidebar, the judge leaves the chambers, and so the U.S. attorney comes over to me like, hi, Abdullah, blah, blah, like, nice to meet you. I got to ask you something, and I totally understand if you don't want to do it, but it'll make our lives so much easier. Could you wait outside in the hallway so we can get this done?
Oh, wow.
I was like, what?
He's that unhinged that you just being in the room with him?
Yes. So I was like, you know what? And so part of me was like, you know what? No, this is a public courtroom. I'm a member of the media, First Amendment right. But at the same time, the lawyer in me is like, no, I'm a firm believer everybody's entitled to due process. And the last thing I want is for him to have an excuse to say, I didn't get my due process because Abdul was in here, blah, blah, blah. So I just like, no, I'll just wait out in the hallway.
So he was not sentenced today. He just apparently maybe.
He entered to a plea agreement. Now, the sentencing will take place because your dad used to work in the federal probation
That's
office.
right. He worked for the judges, yes.
So he's got a couple of months. He's got to go through some pre-sentencing things that he has to go through, and then he'll probably be sentenced early this spring.
Okay, and so he could face up to 5 years.
Up to 5 years behind bars, a $250,000 fine, and 3 years probation.
And
which actually kind of impressed the U.S. Attorney. Like, yeah, you can get this, and this. Like, you're right. Yes, you can.
Well, I mean, and it's not a violent offense, but the length at which this guy went to concoct this thing, and the amount of lies that he told, and the amount of money that he lied about, and the amount of people that he lied about. And he's clearly shown, even since it was announced, the FBI made that big announcement that he was pleading guilty, that he's not stopping. He's still a menace to society. He's still doing a whole bunch of the things. Now, I'm not saying he's making up campaign donors anymore, but his goal is just to ruin as many people as he can. He's not going to stop until he's behind bars.
He is now officially a convicted felon.
Oh!
And so now I can say, and now I change my line from indicted to convicted.
Are you convicted before you're sentenced? You got to be sentenced first? I mean, even if you said I did it and I'm guilty.
He entered a guilty plea, so he's convicted for all intents.
So I want to make sure I understand the timeline. Were you asked to leave before he pled?
Yeah.
So you were not in the room when that happened?
Yeah. I was out in the hallway when the formal plea.
Because he didn't want to have to admit it in front of you.
That's probably what it was. He didn't want you there.
Well, see, but here's the thing, though. There's this thing called transcripts.
Yeah.
that you can get.
Well, right. I mean, you're still going to find out the result of it. He just didn't want to do it in front of you.
I guess so. I can't figure out Mr. Whitley's logic, and I use the term.
Now, you have also won a civil suit against him.
Yes.
How much did you win?
$400,000.
You're suing him again.
Yeah, because he doubled down on the whole.
And I think people need to know, like, this is the sort of guy we're dealing with. What did you sue him for, and what has he continued to do?
He called me a child rapist online. Like, no, I'm not a child rapist. I've been accused of a child rapist. And he didn't show up to the hearing, by the way, because he was filing his federal lawsuit against the disciplinary commission, which has also got tossed. So he called me a child rapist. Like, no, you can't do that, dude. And so I sued him. And the judge, Hanley, at the time, gave me my full $400,000 award. Afterwards, he doubles down again, so I had to sue him. Again.
And he's admitted now that he did the thing that we said you did, which we uncovered because we sued him originally. And it's like, if we hadn't done all, he's mad he got caught. He's not and this is what I hope that they're able to piece together when, they do the pre-sentence report on him, et cetera, is he's not mad he did it. He doesn't feel remorse, clearly, that he did it. The behavior has continued in terms of how he treats other people, the things he posts, the things he does. I questioned even whether to do this segment today, but I want everybody to know that he did indeed say that he's done, the things. Because he just wants attention. Hurting people, negative attention, that means nothing to him. He has no remorse for any of it. And I hope that the people that are in charge of deciding what his punishment are going to recognize that unless he is incarcerated, he will continue to do this to other people.
Have they set a date for his sentencing?
I'll probably, after the sentencing report, probably, like I said, sometime early this spring is what I'm looking at, a couple of months spring-wise. But I want to say Judge Sweeney was the same, I believe was the same judge who sentenced Brent Waltz and John Keeler with all the gaming stuff that went on down there. And Judge Keeler, Judge Hanley, Judge Sweeney does not mess around in any way, shape, or form.
Okay.
But when they had to do the sidebar, I was like, what is this?
Well, and Casey, you're right. He didn't want Abdul to be there when it all went down because he knows Abdul's, which you're going to tell everybody anyway. I mean, what difference is it?
It's already up on anypolitics.org.
Of course it is.
I call it the untalented Mr. Whitley.
Well, and so, man, I just hate you've had to go through all this stuff with this guy, and hopefully our long national nightmare will soon.
It's almost over.
Soon be over.
But there is a glimmer of hope in all this. It gives me at least 2-3 more months to have his wages garnished.
Yeah.
So happy meals for everybody.
And he's still got this local thing hanging out there.
Yeah,
too.
still got the criminal intimidation charges. They got a bunch of civil litigation out there too. So, like I said, if you go to mycase.gov, type in Gabe Whitley, you swear Mr. Whitley was an attorney with all the litigation that's out there right now.
Sorry,
you can't pay your. I don't understand how is he paying for a lawyer?
Public defender.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're paying for it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Yes, you're.
Yeah, but
you've been paying for it for a long time.
Yeah,
Casey.
but once again, everybody's entitled to due process, and I'm a firm believer he should get his due process. When he goes to jail, he has nothing to complain about.
But at the end of the day, he did all the things we said he did. He was super vicious and nasty about all of it, and now he's admitted, I did the things.
Yeah.
All right, now I get to go to his website, Hoosier Inquirer, and see what he writes, because that's going to be some fun stuff to read. I'm a big believer in fiction, so this ought to be good.
All right, Abdul, thank you. All right, when we come back, Casey, speaking of felonious actions, I may have witnessed a felonious action this morning.
Yeah.
And I need your opinion on whether I have some sort of obligation to report what I might have seen.
All right, it's Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
If you're drowning in unresolved tax debt, know this. The IRS can place a lien on your home, garnish your paycheck, and levy your bank account. That's catastrophe for you.
We interrupt this message to bring you some good news about your tax debt. We're TaxRise, experienced tax professionals who can help you seek relief programs and work directly with the IRS on your behalf. Find out if you qualify with a free consultation. 888-788-4220. Eric from South Carolina owed over $74,000. We helped reduce it to $798. Troy, a disabled veteran, owed over $142,000 and settled at $500. We've helped thousands of clients with their tax problems, and we're ready to help you. So take the drama out of your tax debt and rise above your situation with TaxRise. For your free consultation, call 888-788-4220. 888-788-4220.
Results vary, not guaranteed. Client names changed. TaxRise is not IRS affiliated or a law firm.
Are you nearly maxed out on your credit cards? It doesn't matter if you're using your credit cards for fun or to survive. At the end of the month, your statements come in, and you can either pay them or you can't. If you can't, late fees and interest rates get tacked on. And now you're struggling just to make the minimum payment due. Do you feel trapped? Am I talking to you? Good, because I personally researched some companies that can help you. They may be able to reduce your credit card balances by 50% and stop the late fees. If you qualify, please call our special debt hotline number right now for a complimentary free 5-minute consultation. Deal with your credit card problem now before it gets much worse and put more money back in your pocket. Trust me, I've been there too. Call right now.
800-948-1659. 800-948-1659. 800-948-1659. That's 800-948-1659.
93 WIBC Mobile News. On the level, on the go.
Could the U.S. take over? I'm Kurt Darling. Here's what's trending at 11:30. President Trump says Palestinians have no alternative but to leave Gaza and find somewhere else to live.
Gaza is a hellhole right now. It was before the bombing started, frankly, and we're going to give people a chance to live in a beautiful community that's safe and secure.
Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu met in the Oval Office Tuesday, where Trump said the U.S. is prepared to take over the occupied territory. Trump is also suggesting the U.S. could sign a nuclear deal with Iran. In a post on Truth Social, Trump said that he doesn't want conflict with the Islamic Republic and would rather sign a verified nuclear peace agreement. He emphasized he doesn't want to allow Iran to develop a nuclear weapon, while reiterating he wants the country to be successful. I'm Kurt Darling, on the level, on the go, and on WIBC.com.
Hello, friends. It's Rob for We Grow Hair Indy, and I know many of you have said many a time, boy, I'd like to be as beautiful and as handsome as Rob Kendall. And now you can take that first gigantic step by calling We Grow Hair Indy. Yes, if you're feeling a little light on top, you say, man, I'd like to get my confidence back. Rob Kendall looks like a totally confident dude. It's because I went to We Grow Hair Indy, and all you got to do today is schedule your free, no hassle. What are you laughing at, Casey? You know it's true. Schedule your totally free, no hassle obligation today, 317-522-2995. 317-522-2995. And then Darren and the gang, they'll take a look. What you got going on? They're going to give you some suggestions, and the choice is up to you where you go from there. In the meantime, you can see some other people who chose to go to We Grow Hair Indy and get their confidence back at WeGrowHairIndy.com. WeGrowHairIndy.com, 317-522-2995. Tell them Rob sent you.
Talking on the phone is difficult if you've been exposed to loud noises over time. Combat veterans, factory workers, farmers, gun and motorcycle enthusiasts can have trouble hearing on the telephone. Relay Indiana helps return clarity to your phone conversations. A free service providing telecom accessibility, Relay Indiana allows hard of hearing users to have normal phone conversations through specially trained relay operators. Relay Indiana also provides free loaned equipment to those who qualify. Get the CapTel caption telephone from Relay Indiana. Visit RelayIndiana.com now.
Is your financial advisor offering you up to a 30% upfront bonus? Are they promising you up to 10% growth per year guaranteed for your retirement income? If not, you need a new financial advisor. I'm Jeff Jr., founder of Trajan Wealth. If you plan to retire within the next 10 years, don't wait only to find out it's too late. I've seen hard-working folks like you retire only to be required to go back to work, all because their advisor told them guarantees like these were too good to be true. They're not. That's up to $30,000 up front or up to $10,000 per year on $100,000, all guaranteed for retirement income. Don't work when you're supposed to be retired. And if any financial advisor tells you it's too good to be true, they simply don't have the options we do. Call Trajan today at 317-480-4040.
Annuity guarantees are based on the claims paying ability of the issuing insurance company.
Hey guys, it's Rob for Life Church. And you know, Life Church has this big marriage conference coming up February the 21st and 22nd at their Noblesville campus. And this would be a great opportunity to invest in your marriage with a date weekend that will show great return in your relationship. You know, we talk about all the time what a great impact Life Church has had on my life, on my family's life, my wife's life, and they make it super easy for you with campuses all across central Indiana. We mentioned Noblesville, and you got Fishers and Eagle Creek and Pendleton, and they got great online services as well. You can learn more about everything, the marriage conference, the campuses, the online services, all points in between. A lot of great things going on. LifeChurchIN.com.
Are you still thinking about what to get her this Valentine's Day? Make that special gift last forever and surprise her with a gift from Pierce Jewelers. Shop local, shop smart, shop Pierce Jewelers.
You're listening to the Kendall and Casey Show on 93 WYBC.
Okay, you have a dilemma. You had an incident. You were a witness.
I don't know. So every day when I get to work, I do my morning prayer.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in the middle of just
in your car?
In my car.
Yeah.
I drive into our parking garage. I'm doing my morning prayer, and I'm praying for you to stomach me for another day and to get through the broadcast.
So far, you better keep praying.
It's
working so far.
Variety of things.
Mm-hmm.
And I hear this loud smack.
Yeah.
And so, I finish my prayer, open my eyes, and I see this truck has parked in a couple spots down for me. It's backed in.
Mm-hmm.
And I see this guy get out of his car, and he goes and he looks behind his truck. And then I realize in our parking garage, there are certain spots that are reserved, and there's like a little metal pole that comes out of the ground, for lack of a better term, and it's got spot whatever this spot is reserved. Well, this is just a pole with there was no thing on the top. So I don't know if there at one time was, and they took it down and didn't take the pole down. Well, I'm looking at the pole, and the pole is looking like it's a little slightly off kilter, and this guy has gotten out of his truck and is looking at the pole, and then just looks at it, and then walks away.
Okay.
So I'm thinking he backed into this pole.
Yeah.
He didn't derail the pole. He has knocked the pole off kilter, but there's nothing on the pole to begin with. Did I just witness someone commit some sort of highly criminal behavior and flee the scene of the damage they've done? But then what is the actual value of the pole? And there's nothing on the pole. So should I tell anybody?
Here comes the ruling.
Yeah.
No.
No?
No.
Oh, good, because my concern was I didn't want to say anything to the guy, and I was like, hey, does the guy have a weapon? Does he have a gun? I'm not approaching
that's what I'm thinking. As I put myself in that situation as a woman by herself in a dark parking garage, no, I would not be approaching someone asking what they just did, because you have no idea what their intentions are.
And this guy did not appear to be Jack the Ripper. It would be different if I saw him run over a pedestrian, right?
Well, sure.
Right. And
you're talking about a metal pole. The pole did not have a sign on it.
Did not have a sign on it. It didn't have a sign.
So it's not even instruction like, handicapped or reserved for someone very important.
Right.
It could have been reserved for him at one time. You never know.
He might have done more damage to his truck, too.
Right? Than he did to the pole.
So I did okay by not reporting this to the nearest local authorities.
You're not legally required to report it unless you are directly involved. And you just admitted that you actually did not see it.
I did not. I was piecing
Your
it
eyes
together.
Were closed.
That's correct. I did see him check the back of his truck, but I did not actually see what would have been the truck hitting the metal pole.
Mm-hmm. So there wasn't even a sign attached to the pole.
No.
So it's not like this was a hazardous situation where it was a stop sign that got knocked over and there could be accidents now.
Unless he knocked the sign off the pole.
Oh, well.
But I didn't, there was no loud, twang of a metal thing. And also, how would he even do that? You'd have to take the pole down.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. And that's kind of what my thinking was. But then I thought, well, I'll leave it to you because you're truth, justice, in the American way, and you would tell me if I did something wrong by not reporting. But who would I even report it to?
Right.
There was nobody down when I get here in the morning. There's nobody at the front desk.
Mm-hmm.
There's nobody at
You mean in the lobby?
Yeah, and there's nobody in the garage at that time.
Right.
So who would I even have told?
I mean, you could take a look around on your way out if you want to see.
At what?
I don't know, to see if there was a sign on the pole that's now on the ground.
Oh, now I'm going to turn into Inspector Clouseau over here and do a deep dived investigation. Just in time for this guy to come back as I'm investigating him.
Yeah. So I think you're okay.
Okay.
You didn't even really witness it.
I didn't know. It could have been just checking for fun, and that loud clang was just a coincidence. And the dented bent pole.
And you don't know who the guy was.
No, I don't.
Yeah. So
I do know. I mean, I do know who it was not, but I don't even know who the guy was. I found it interesting. He just walked off like into the stairwell, and I was like, well.
Well, it's not like he knocked over a yield sign.
Well, that's true. Who would he even
one-way
tell?
only, or
maybe he's already reported it.
It could be. Maybe he self-reported.
Kevin, you strike me as the sort of guy who's run into things before and just left.
No, I'm actually pretty good about that.
Really?
I'm very careful.
Oh, you notice he didn't say I didn't run into anything. He's like, I'm just pretty good about that, like as you would report it if you ran into it.
I'm pretty good about that.
You know, I did once scrape a, what do you call like the concrete pillars down in the parking garage?
Yeah.
I did one time scrape against that.
But then you're not doing damage to anything.
That did more damage to my car.
Yeah,
than
totally.
I did that too, Kevin.
Yeah.
Was it your van?
It was the van.
It was the van?
Yeah, I did it in the dude's car.
Really?
Yeah.
This is why I struggle to get a new car.
I felt horrible.
Most of you know I drive a golf cart that gets like 40 miles a gallon. It's a tiny, tiny car. But it makes me feel better driving in a parking garage because I can easily get out. And I would be very worried about driving a larger car trying to maneuver out of the parking spots.
That's what happened to me. I was driving the dude's car, and it's bigger, and I wasn't used to driving that, couch around on wheels.
Yeah.
And I swiped the concrete pillar.
Whatever happened to your motorcycles?
What do you mean? What happened?
You still have them?
Yeah.
I never see you ever ride those to work.
It's hardly motorcycle season.
But
right
even
now.
in the summer, do you ride them in the summer? I've never heard
Yeah.
you. Do you really?
Well, one of them needs a little work right now.
Really?
Yeah.
So you spent a fortune to get those motorcycles back down here because you had to keep going back and forth.
I wouldn't say it was a fortune.
Well, by your standards, you told me what you're worth, so $600,000 would be nothing to
Rob.
you. Yeah,
priceless. So no, they're still here. They're waiting for it to warm up. Okay.
All right. Very good.
Did you see that there has been a bill that has been introduced in the Indiana legislature to make Monday after the Super Bowl a state holiday?
This has to be the Democrats. Although I don't know, maybe that was the Republicans.
Mitch Gore is
That's
the
the Democrats.
co-author.
There you go.
He says that productivity declines after the Super Bowl. 16 million people call in sick on the Monday after Super Bowl, and 30% of American they feel less productive.
I love
on that Monday.
That the Democrats, their top priority, it's not the property taxes, it's not better schools. It's you're such a debaucherous human that you can't control yourself on Super Bowl Sunday, so we got to give you a mandated day off work. That is the most Democrat bill ever, isn't it? That is the most Democrat bill ever.
So he said that we're experiencing challenging times right now, and that Hoosiers deserve an extra day off.
These people, I mean, and I've said this for a long time, I hate that the Democrats are so inept and they're so ridiculous because this is why Republicans behave the way they do. But this is just another example. This is just another example of why the Democrats are in this super minority party, because there's a million different issues you could just beat the tar out of the Republicans on and provide actual solutions. And no, you guys are there, and your solution to solve humanity's ills is let's give you the day after the Super Bowl.
We want a day off. Okay, so he argued that people can connect with their family and friends. And there was a study that was done, and it says that there is a drop in productivity in the country nationwide. We experience economic losses between $6 and $7 billion.
What time does the Super Bowl start? Let me look this up here.
It's normally in the evening.
It starts at 6:30.
Yeah.
Monday Night Football normally, or a Sunday night and Monday Night Football start at like 8:15. So you're already getting an hour and a half extra time from what the normal Sunday night game is. And you can spend it with your friends and your family. Just don't act like an idiot and don't drink excessively.
Become overserved.
And have a little bit of decency about yourself, and you'll be able to be just fine. That is the most Democrat thing ever. You're incapable of not acting like a complete drunken buffoon at your Super Bowl party, so we got to give you the day off.
So this is House Bill 1517. It's been referred to the Committee on Government and Regulatory Reform, has not been scheduled for a hearing. Could you imagine if they had a hearing on that? Everybody, all these guys showing up in their favorite jersey. So Donald Trump is going to attend the Super Bowl. It's going to make him the first sitting president to attend the event. He alluded to the fact,
There's never been a president at the Super Bowl?
That's what's being reported.
No kidding.
So he hinted that he thinks the Chiefs are going to win, that Patrick Mahomes is going to lead his team to victory.
Well, they got the Chiefs plus the refs, and you got the commissioner, and I mean it's a really the Eagles are up against it. They're up against it, Casey.
You know who is most bummed about this? Taylor Swift, because now the attention may be taken away from her and placed on Donald Trump.
Well, one of the prop bets I saw that potentially could be betted on is who will get more television time or more views, Trump or Taylor Swift.
What do you think? Who would you bet on?
Taylor Swift.
Yeah, still. It's Kendall and Casey. It's 93 WIBC.
This afternoon on the Hammer and Nigel show, Allison has promised to go home with caller number 9. Yeah! Okay, I'm being told that's not going to happen.
No.
We'll just have the biggest stories of the day and maybe Tony Kennett, 93 WIBC.
Attention Indianapolis residents in need of care at home. If you need assistance with daily activities, you can receive in-home care from a loved one that lives with you and they get paid. Through Medicaid with no cost to you, Freedom Care allows you to choose who provides your care at home in Indianapolis and they get paid instantly. This is 100% free to you. Call now to check your eligibility. It can be your daughter, son, a close relative, or trusted friend helping you with cooking, transportation, laundry, and other activities in your own home. You get the help you need and your caregiver gets paid instantly. Freedom Care has over 7,000 five-star Google reviews and is a leading choice in Indianapolis for in-home care. If you have Medicaid and want great care from a loved one that's free to you through Medicaid, go to freedomcare.com or call 463-262-0024. 463-262-0024. That's 463-262-0024.
Freedom Care, we're here for you.
Garage door problems? Call today for service today. Garage Doors of Indianapolis services all makes of garage doors 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Call today for service today. 875-4577. Call today for service today. Get it fixed right now. Call Garage Doors of Indianapolis at 875-4577 or visit doorstoday.com.
In the morning, call 875-4577. Service today. Today.
Big Joe here for your trusted local independent American Standard heating and air conditioning dealer, B&W HVAC Plumbing and Electrical.
With a B&W Premier Club membership, you'll stay ahead of breakdowns and costly repairs. Our members get routine maintenance, priority scheduling, and exclusive discounts, saving you money and keeping your family comfortable all season long. Visit bplusw.com or call 317-214-0108 for more information.
B&W HVAC Plumbing and Electrical, your American Standard dealer since 1961.
I occasionally have nerve discomfort in my hands, so the things I love to do...
Let's play something, Grandma.
...became difficult as I got older.
If you have occasional stabbing and burning in your hands and feet, try Nervive Nerve Relief. Nervive's clinically studied dose of alpha-lipoic acid reduces occasional nerve discomfort in as little as 7 days with continued daily use. Say yes to healthy nerves with Nervive Nerve Relief. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Are you a chronic interrupter? Incapable of letting other people talk? Do those people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should go to Mattress Firm. They have a 120-night sleep trial so you can get your money back if a bed's not right. That way anyone, even someone like you, can sleep. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Check out what's going on with 93 WIBC.
Listen to Hammer and Nigel Monday through Friday this week for your chance to win a pair of tickets to see Sebastian Maniscalco Sunday, February 16th at Gamebridge Fieldhouse.
More info online at WIBC.com.
If the teacher pops a test, I know I'm in a mess, and my dog ate all my homework last night. Riding low in my chair, she won't know that I'm there.
Look, we got to chat.
What? What's the problem now?
I mean, you've just been ridiculous since about 10:06 this morning.
I don't know what you're talking about, Rob Kendall.
Well, I mean, you have a type, and you're very happily married, and I know you're very happily married, and I know your Jim's wonderful, but there are just certain guests I know I'm going to bring in here, and I just know in my mind.
Yeah.
Like the first time you met Daniel Elliott, I was like, I know she's gonna find him aesthetically pleasing.
We did vote him as the best looking man in the Indiana government.
And I knew when I brought Carlin in here earlier. So Carlin Yoder, he's a former state senator. Now he's working on that partisan school board bill, and we had him in. I just knew. I've worked with you for 3 years now. I just know people that are going to be aesthetically pleasing to you.
Yeah, he's a good looking guy.
And you have been. You know, like how the cartoon characters, when they're in some sort of situation, they just are drenched with sweat. You're like,
do I have like the heart eyes popping out of my skull?
And he's, like I said, I mean, he's a, and I said this during the interview because I think he's not said it publicly, but people are saying he would be a great guy to run against Todd Young.
Primary Todd Young. Maybe, possibly, considering.
I said, one of the things you got to be, I think, in order to pull that off is aesthetically pleasing. Because let's face it, you've been sending me photos every day of Todd Young looking non-aesthetically pleasing.
Well, I mean,
you're like, what is wrong with this guy?
Well, he looks like he's going through a bad spell because he's been unshaven and his hair's long. And even last time with the long hair, it was like, you know, I don't know, like he had bedhead or something.
Do you think Todd Young has now has a case of senioritis? He's been there so long now. Because let's face it, he's been in the Congress. He was elected in 2010 to the House. So what is that? That's 15 years. Do you think he now has just developed a case of senioritis?
Oh.
Maybe he's spent so much money and gotten away with it for so long that he just doesn't even care anymore.
Well, he either doesn't care or maybe it's catching up to him now and it's stressing him out.
The stress of all the money he's spent over the years.
Well, I mean, when Elon Musk calls you to give you the work over, I mean, you know, you got to fall in line or get primaried, right?
Yeah, I mean, but I mean, that's really the hard thing.
You know, I saw Todd Young at one of the things that we were at, and he gave me the
what was that?
The up and down, the look over, like and then he walked away.
You know, I actually. Have I told you this?
He didn't move aggressively towards me.
Yeah,
he moved aggressively away from me.
Have I ever told you that, and this is breaking news on the Kendall and Casey show, I can't believe I've been sitting on this for several days.
What?
We actually have audio of Todd Young responding to Elon Musk's phone call.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Where have you been with this?
You know, a lot of things going on with the property tax thing. And we actually have. Now, this is just unfortunately, we were unable to get an audio recording of Elon's side of the phone call.
So we only have Todd Young's side?
We only have Todd Young's side of the phone call. Are you ready, Casey?
Yeah.
No, I didn't. Honest. I ran out of gas. I had a flat tire. I didn't have enough money for cab fare. My trucks didn't come back from the cleaners. An old friend came in from out of town. Someone stole my car. There was an earthquake. A terrible flood. Locust. It wasn't my fault, I swear to God.
Think Elon bought it?
No, why are you laughing at that?
I don't believe that
We've
was Todd
obtained
Young.
exclusive audio of Todd Young on bended knee begging Elon Musk not to be mean to him.
Don't primary me.
And you're just, it's all fun and games for
Todd
you, Daniels.
Young, I don't know if he's worried about Nicole Shanahan and her promise to spend money to primary any senator that doesn't vote for RFK Jr., so, you know.
Let's face it, and everybody knows, with an IQ of 7 or above, that Todd Young did not want to vote for Tulsi Gabbard.
No, he didn't.
He did it because he was politically pressured into doing it. And, you know, it's kind of pathetic. In a weird way, you'd almost respect it more if he's like, nah, she said Snowden's not a traitor. And, you know,
I've got conviction. I'm going to stand my ground. I'm willing to give up my position. If that's what the people of Indiana want, then I'm doing this.
But these people need
wouldn't do it.
Office. And so he caved. I mean, Todd Young's a very pathetic person. And we've been talking about this for years, that guys like that maneuver to whatever is politically most expedient. And it does say something about the country, though. And it does say something about the power of Elon Musk, maybe more than anything, is that now we're mobilizing to where stooges like Todd Young are fearing the people more than they're fearing the party leadership.
Yeah. Well, is he fearing the people or is he fearing Elon Musk?
Well, whatever it is. I mean, I think there was a very, very high volume of phone calls that came in to Todd Young
that's true.
On both RFK Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard. And, you know, all's well that ends well. But it should show our audience, especially like with the property tax thing or whatever. If you're willing to engage, you can move the needle. But let's get back to the thing. The conversation is, I'm just not comfortable bringing men into the studio anymore.
You know what? You paint me as the bad person
You're
here.
sexually harassing my friends.
did not harass anyone. I was perfectly professional. I sat across the room and did absolutely nothing but behave myself.
I believe the quote. You were like Chris Farley and Tommy Boy. Instead of Tommy likey, Tommy want wingy. Casey was Casey likey.
Me likey. You act like you are just an altar boy over there.
Well, look, I've never brought a woman into the studio and then proceeded to look at you and go, me likey.
Yes. Yes, you have. Yes, you have.
All right. So the reality is, though, that look, I'm totally embarrassed by all of your behavior, and we're gonna have to just change how we welcome people into the studio. We may be a phone call only program going forward.
We're only human.
You're such a good sport. Have I ever told you that? Like most people would be like, "There's no way I'm gonna allow you to say those things," and you're like, "Sure, just say them. I want everybody to know. No. I think he's gorgeous. He should be on the front of a dime store novel."
Well, you know what? I mean, we're used to seeing these.
Yeah, say it. Say it. We're used to seeing people in politics that look like Jerry Nadler, and it's nice every so often to know. And look, we're not saying that these people are
Mitch McConnell type people.
Well, and this is why part of the reason I think I did well in politics. Look, I'm not. There's a reason I chose radio over television. But in terms of politics, when you compare the people I was up against, it's like I don't fall asleep in meetings.
Exactly.
You know, my pants fit. I don't have to wear them up to my armpits, and I don't weigh 383 pounds.
Yeah, you've got a little bit of energy.
I was a politics 9, Casey.
I know,
and
right?
so that's part of the point, though. Is
that's a bad scale.
It's such a low bar to hop over. Matt Bear is barging in, so we got to go home.
Speaking of good-looking guys, Matt Bear walks in the studio.
Sexy.
There's no recording line out here.
All right, we got to go before this turns not family friendly. That's going to do it for us today. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Kevin. Thank you for listening. It is Kendall and Casey on 93 WIBC.
Take a little time to show some love this Valentine's Day with a gift from Cynthia's Hallmark. Cynthia's is Cupid ready and gift ideas for all ages. Cynthia's in Greenfield carries the most popular jewelry line in the country. Gorgeous E. Newton jewelry. Swim, sweat, shower in it for worry-free wear. And I love the festive 7.5-inch ceramic Valentine tree that lights up with pink and red hearts, or the Candy Conversation Hearts tree. Fun decorations, and both feature a 4-hour timer. Lots of plush, and the hottest plush on the market, Jellycat. If you're sending a card through the mail, the fresh cut paper flower bouquets are popular again this year. A full dozen red roses with a sprinkling of baby's breath for just $12.99. And right now, get a free 3-pair set of super soft, adorable Valentine cozy socks with any purchase of $25 or more with a coupon, and it's while supplies last. Shop locally owned Cynthia's Hallmark for the biggest selection of Valentine's Day gifts. 116th and Allisonville Road, 96th and Lantern Road, 116th and Brook School Road, and in Greenfield.
Attention taxpayers. If you or your business owe the IRS back taxes or have years of unfiled tax returns, the IRS has green-lighted billions of dollars in tax relief to those facing financial hardship through its tax relief initiatives. If you have a delinquent tax problem and possibly facing wage garnishment, liens, levies, audits, or already in a payment plan, you may now qualify for significant relief. Qualifying and enrolling in this program could stop all collections, settle your tax problem, and may even reduce what you owe by up to 99%. Call the hotline at Tax Help USA to see if you qualify by dialing 800-210-8808. If you or your business owe at least $10,000 in back taxes to the IRS or state, you can now get the help that you need during these hard economic times. Call Tax Help USA to get your free tax assessment to see what you qualify for by dialing 800-210-8808. 800-210-8808. 800-210-8808.
Well-changing question. Are you keeping as much of your investment gains as possible? High taxes can erode returns quickly, so you need a tax-optimized portfolio. At Creative Planning, our money managers and specialists work together to make sure your portfolio and wealth are managed in a tax-efficient manner. It's what you keep that really matters. Why not give your wealth a second look? Book your free meeting today at creativeplanning.com. Creative Planning, a richer way to wealth.
Dads happen. There's a whole lot of stuff that can mess up the look of your vehicle. Don't paint your car. Go PDR with Kill a Dent Removal. PDR is paintless dent removal that saves your factory finish and is way less invasive than traditional body shop repairs. And it's faster too, sometimes same day. Google Kill a Dent Removal and check out the reviews and photos. Then schedule your repair. Hail baseballs, kids, fender benders, shopping carts, flying cows, angry X's, and anything else that leaves dents. Don't paint your car. Go PDR with Kill a Dent Removal.
Febreze. As a rideshare driver, I love keeping my car smelling fresh and clean. So when I'm driving, I only trust Febreze car vent clips, featuring 3 distinct intensity settings, because it's that little touch that sets me apart. I can turn the intensity down for subtle freshness, or I can turn it up for when I want lots of scent. So whether it's set to low, medium, or high, with Febreze car, I know my car's going to smell amazing. Which keeps my driver rating right where it belongs. Picking up, Oscar!
The Suburban Indie Home and Outdoor Living Show
returns to Grand Park February 7th through 9th.
Find inspiration from over 200 exhibitors, artisans, and crafters.
SuburbanIndieshows.com.
On the level, on the go. 93 WIBC Indianapolis.
Coming up.
Logansport, Marion, Fort Wayne.
Larry Cooper is retired.
This pattern is too common in our country.
Katie and Morgan Lucas were both supporters.
He was accused of stealing nearly $3 million in 5 homes.
This is the WIBC News at noon.
What's in effect for you?
I'm John Herrick.
And I'm Ryan Hedrick. Here's what's trending at noon. A winter weather advisory is in effect through tomorrow morning as freezing rain moves in.
Places like Logansport, Marion, Fort Wayne, Valparaiso, South Bend.
Jason Puma is a forecaster at the National Weather Service in Indianapolis.
So if you're traveling up that way and you encounter freezing precipitation, you have to be prepared for slick roads, slick surfaces. Be prepared to slow down. Be especially careful on untreated surfaces as well.
Puma says temperatures will warm up overnight, but expect rain and snow to return by Saturday.
Property taxes were a key topic at the State House Tuesday. Kurt Darling reports on the concerns expressed by people paying taxes and local leaders.
Larry Cooper is retired and lives in Indianapolis.
We're looking at property in Alabama, Tennessee, where they're not taxing them to death.
He testified to the state Senate Tax and Fiscal Policy Committee on Tuesday, which also heard the concerns of local governments who fear they may have to cut public services if the bill becomes law.
The negative